Oh shit! store. boys, and they had done that twice. Chanting "Stop the count" when your person is down makes no sense. Like you didn't even get the sign and the chant right. Notwithstanding the deeper issues, I want to thank Michelle, Professor Charles. Coming up after the break, we have a special fact check on something that could be a big deal no matter what happens, because this recount, as explained, can still go forward in Wisconsin. But what are the real numbers? What do you need to know, particularly if people are talking? The expertise that helps keep hospitals clean is helping keep businesses clean too. We're the Ecolab Science Certified seal. The super big 85-inch Samsung QLED TV brings the game home. For sure, a TV this big makes kids series look giant. Love the TV. Game shows look like even bigger. And medical dramas look larger than life. But the super big Samsung QLED TV is made for football. Get a new TV, free contents, and Care Plus for a low monthly payment with Samsung Access. Love Jersey Mike stuffs? Love them times 12 with our new catering box. Packed full of a dozen individually wrapped stuffs. They're yours for the sharing. Jersey Mike's, the stuff above. Your boss thinks you're the best. His rock star sales rep, heir to his throne. But if you can't upload that massive presentation in time for his big meeting because you have cable, just remember, you're not a bad employee. Anybody got a joke? You just need better internet. AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience with 20 times faster upload speeds than cable. DirecTV customers get AT&T Fiber plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Call 1-877 only AT&T. I'm so thankful for this. I'm so thankful, yeah, for this. I'm so thankful to you, baby, to you. Sports Center is brought to you by Progressive. Pretty good at the victory dance, but much better at saving. Welcome back, match. And the conference opened up the season today with all 12 teams playing, and we have it covered on multiple networks as Ohio faces Central Michigan top of the hour. And there's Curtis Moore, younger brother of former Bobcat star Nathan Moore, ready to go. National championship from Madison is now with much more action talk. 2 games over underway for tonight. Let's get to them right now. Buffalo favored by 14 points at Northern Illinois. What's the play? Go with Buffalo. Their offense is explosive. They can move the ball on the ground and challenge you, but they got a downfield passing game on the play action to gouge you. Right now, Northern Illinois' defensive line is a mess. They had a couple of guys transfer out, and even with them last year, they didn't stop the run very well. If you can't stop these guys on the ground, you won't stop it at all. That game next on ESPN2 top of the hour. Ohio on the road against Central Michigan. Will the Bobcats cover as 3-point favorites? I think Central Michigan on this one. The Chippewas have some terrific skill players. I mean, they would turn a couple of all-MAC wide receivers in addition to Tyrone Scott, who's one of the better deep threats in the MAC. When you don't know how teams are going to be able to grind things out, I always tend to want to go with the ones who are more likely to have more playmakers deeper down the roster. Chippewas cannot surprise anybody this year. They know they're coming. Ball State at Miami of Ohio. This is an interesting one. score a ton of points. We'll see how that plays out. The over-under, Bowling Green Toledo is 63. Where are we going here, Trevor? 7-13 under. Bowling Green, bless their hearts, not very good. Starting a new quarterback. Toledo has 3 new coordinators and started a new quarterback. And Toledo's strength is on the ground. I expect the Rockets to come out and try to pound this ball out and make it a shortened game. I just don't see how they get up to that over-under of 63 overall. Okay, can't wait. Honestly, it's great to see action in the middle of the week. We need more football. You can see Trevor and myself halftime tonight, ESPN and ESPN2.
How about this? The midway point of the 2020 NFL season. Here are your top plays according to us so far. Number 10, Jets and Chiefs weekend. Patrick Mahomes, Wilson's right, and how about the underhand toss to Travis Kelce for tight end for the touchdown. He threw 5 touchdowns against the Jets in his prize, and the Chiefs won 35-9.
He's just drawing it up like on the Sandlot. Browns, Ravens at number 9, week 1. Mark Andrews, the one-handed grab. Andrews, 2 touchdowns in the game, and then the power spike. The Ravens would go on to win easily, 38-6. Boom.
Week 4, Jackson Bengals. Yes, Jackson Bengals. Miles Jack. He steals that touchdown pass from Joe Burrow with an acrobatic interception. Look at him, great job wrestling that ball away from Drew Sample. That was blue for the 25, but we don't care.
No. You know, and watching Joe Burrow, it's worth it for the Bengals fans. Soon. Saints, Bears, week 8, Nick Foles to the end zone. It's all about Allen Robinson. Lay out! What a grab there. Gets the top play. The Saints, they get the win in overtime, 26-23. Bears trying to figure out the offense. They throw the ball to number 12.
Seahawks, Cardinals, 28-7. Hello, Russell Wilson. Lost that pass to the back of the end zone. And hello, Tyler Lockett after the season receivers. In this game, 15 catches for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. We're not done with this game either.
Chargers, Saints, Monday Night Football week 5, and the rookie Justin Herbert surprising a lot of people. We know about the arm talent, but my goodness, throw it up and let Mike Williams eat. Look at the grab, full extension, hold it down. And the Chargers, though, would lose in overtime.
Number 4 from week 6, Jackson Dolphin. Look at this interception.
Boom.
Incredible, yes. The Bulldogs with an assist there. Marcus May, the pick of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yep, the rear end, whatever it takes to hold on to that beautiful shot by Marcus May.
And that's the Jets highlight of the season. Saints in week 3, Alvin Kamara, Mr. Do-It-All, makes the defender miss, breaking multiple tackles, and eventually the patience, really, I'm not sure what the Packers defense is doing with the tackling there, and then celebrate with the Snow Angels. 7 touchdowns overall this season. Saints, they would lose, though.
So Eagles and Niners, this is Brandon Ayuk, takes the screen, okay, breaks a couple tackles, and then watch. Earl up the final defender, and that's how it gets into the end zone. Completely clearing Marcus up, essentially a 38-yard rushing touchdown. It was about 40 pass, the lateral. Niners blew a 4-quarter lead. Brandon Ayuk at number 2.
Number 1, Russ throwing a pick, and it's a pick 6, right? Buda Baker thinks so. Everybody thinks so. Not DK Metcalf. My goodness. If this man is chasing you, just turn around and give him the ball. Marcus Spears said it best. He's from Wakanda. Yeah, he's from Wakanda. That's the best way to describe him. When a guy like that is chasing you, good luck. Seahawks, they would come up short in overtime, and that's not their fuel. With Buda Baker.
Terrible feeling.
Baker said afterwards, he caught me.
Oh! Coming up, that's kind of an incredible story in the NFL. Why Giants star Logan Ryan is crediting a team trainer for saving his wife's life.
So with AT&T, you can pick the perfect plan for each family member with the features they want, like HBO Max. What was that? Happens every time I say HBO Max.
Cool.
HBO Max.
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. It's been a grind, but I think I've aged too well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show me the cheese? I want you to feel the cheesiest cheese. Cheese, official sponsor of the college football playoff. What does Domino's know about tacos and burgers? As delivery experts, we know they shouldn't be delivered like this.
They got tacos right across the line with my delivery guy.
The burger will do.
You can't see anything delivered for it.
We wanted to give you a burger that is designed to be delivered.
A taco that was made to deliver right now.
Taco from Domino's? What? Oh my. The new Domino's cheeseburger pizza.
This is our new chicken taco pizza.
Now the best way to get a taco or burger delivered is to get a Domino's pizza.
I spent 9 years in and out of the prison system. Companies didn't want to take a chance on someone with a history like mine. But within 3 to 4 days of searching on Indeed, I was offered the job. They gave me an opportunity to make something of myself.
Lower carbs. Lower calories. Higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived.
Only Dish has the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It holds up to 2,000 hours of your favorite shows.
Got all the seasons.
Please love you should need them. Dish, tuned in to you. And so peaceful
This war was a lie. There is no truth. Only who you choose to believe. Rated F for the tool. Pre-order now.
What is this? It's another ad read. Steve, do people tune into the show to hear me say watch ESPN Live? They do.
No, they don't stop.
It's ridiculous. I would never do that. Never. I need to get rid of some hair. You're gonna be so good. Oh man. I hope so. Sort of, please.
Sure. That would be a shame.
Go for it. Can't believe he's doing it.
Work here is done, gentlemen.
Being there. Pass it on.
Please.
Yes.
The return of the MAC. How about this? The season opener for the conference featuring 12 teams, 6 games. First career start for Daniel Richardson, Central Michigan hosting Ohio. Top of the hour here on ESPN. We also have games on ESPN2 later on and on ESPNU.
Back to the NFL for a second. The job of an athletic trainer is intense. It is pressure packed. There are almost no days off as they have the difficult task of keeping multi-million-dollar athletes healthy and in world-class shape.
Yeah, recently New York Giants trainer Justin Mayer, he went next level for one of his players. After the Monday night game against the Bucs, Mayer provided life-saving advice to Ashley Ryan, the wife of Giants quarterback Logan Ryan. Listen to what happened. She was having some stomach pains, and it was 1 a.m., and I was banged up after the game as well, and I was leaving the stadium at 1 a.m. And she was telling me about some pain she had in her stomach, and I told her, she wanted to sleep it off, and she was in extreme pain, but she said she'll wait till the morning. I talked to one of our trainers about the symptoms. He said, no, she needs to go to the ER. My wife ended up going to the ER, and they ended up catching, I don't know what the word, ectopic pregnancy, where the egg was in the wrong place in the fallopian tube and it was about to burst. So she ended up going to emergency surgery, what I'm dealing with right now, and they ended up saving her, and ended up, her what could have been done. And I was a trainer on Team Justin Mayer, and telling my wife to go to the ER at 1 a.m. Could have saved her life or saved a lot of internal bleeding there. And that's the type of organization that we have here. And honestly, I wasn't going to talk about that. That's what, and my kids are okay. My wife is recovering well. She's okay. This happened, all yesterday. And Joe said, if you need to fly to Florida, don't worry about football. And that's what Joe is as a man and as a coach. I know we care about X and O's and winning and losing, but there's really good people here. That's why I came here. There's really good trainers here. There's really a lot of people behind the scenes that are working really hard for us to get wins. And I'll do everything I can to play for a coach like that and play for an organization like this because, if that wasn't the case, I don't know if my wife would be here today. And honestly, I'm extremely grateful for this organization and for Joe and everyone understands, things bigger than football, especially this year.
That's exactly what I was going to say. First time we've heard that Logan and Ashley do have two young children. I thought that one of these can cost your life.
Not on that.
What a blessing and things get so much bigger than football.
Justin Mayer, we salute you. And Ashley, we hope you're okay. Honestly, that's what this is all about. Who cares about the Giants' record? That's what the organization is about.
College football action is back Wednesday night, Ohio, Central Michigan, next on ESPN. You're watching college football on ESPN, presented by Ram Trucks.
From about a half a dozen states that will decide this race eventually, Joe Biden has been declared the winner in the great state of Michigan, the apparent winner in Wisconsin, a state Donald Trump won by a nose back in 2016. Biden's lead in Wisconsin appears to be within the margin for a recount, something the Trump campaign says they want. A recount that, by the way, would drag on until December. Just two of the fast-moving stories we are tracking at this hour. With us again tonight, my friend and colleague Rachel Maddow, just over yonder in the expanded studio on the East End. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Brian. With me here tonight in this corner of the studio, too far away for a hug, but still, is the great Jordan Reed. Our friend Nicole Wallace is way too far away for a hug, but she will be along in just a moment. The indefatigable Steve Kornacki is at the board. We're actually testing indefatigability among humans on Steve Kornacki as a test subject right now. Just in the last few hours, the Trump campaign has fired off a confetti cannon of lawsuits, appealing to the courts to please shut down the vote count in Michigan and in Pennsylvania. This hour, we're going to be talking with somebody who lived through the Bush and Gore recount in 2000. Ron Klain is a former Biden chief of staff. He's now one of the Biden campaign's senior advisors. We're going to talk with him about where the Biden campaign sees itself now as we close in on the last half dozen states to be decided. We do not know how this race will turn out, but we do know, and we should be proud of this, more Americans turned out to vote in this election than in any American election in 120 years. The last record was 1900. Also, we know that Joe Biden has earned more votes than any presidential candidate in American history. The former vice president addressing the nation this afternoon.
Here, the people rule. Power can't be taken or asserted. It flows from the people. It is their will that determines who will be the president of the United States, and their will alone. And now, after a long night of counting, it's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Now, while we may not have seen the president today, we certainly heard from him, including this, where he hereby claims victory in Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, quote, for electoral vote purposes. For the record, That is not how our system works. Rachel?
Hereby claim all sorts of things in regular life and sometimes in politics, but that doesn't, putting the word hereby doesn't make it official. And the president's efforts in this regard have been something to see. As I mentioned, we are going to be talking to Biden campaign senior advisor Ron Klain, who's a very important part of the Biden campaign strategically. We're going to be talking with him in just a moment. First, I want to turn to Steve Kornacki, who's up the board, just to get to put us in context here. Give us our first look at the electoral map tonight and what's still in motion.
Yeah, Rich, so you could see the big news in the last couple hours was the state of Michigan being called for Joe Biden. It moved Joe Biden's electoral vote total up to 253, meaning him 17 away from the magic number of 270. What's left here? Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. But let me show you a couple of them where I think things are happening now or could happen tonight. Let's start in Georgia, where they've continued to count votes, and the count has come down a little bit. The tally has come down a little bit this evening. Donald Trump's margin right now statewide over Joe Biden in Georgia sits at 56,000 votes. I think there are still about 150,000 to be counted. More from Democratic areas, much more from Democratic areas than from Republican areas. And often these are the early ballots, the mail ballots, the absentee ballots. That's where Democrats and Joe Biden have done significantly better than Trump, that type of ballot. So let's see, 150,000 or so to go. Biden trying to chip away at a 56,000 vote deficit. We'll see if he gets there. I think tomorrow, too, we can expect the accounting to continue tomorrow. Georgia, by the way, if it finishes within 0.5%, 0.5% or less, the candidate, the losing candidate, can request a recount. So that's something to keep in mind as those votes come in. Again, I think tomorrow we may get a lot more there. Two other pieces tonight, though, I want to draw your attention to. Number one is Arizona. Joe Biden is leading in Arizona right now. You see his margin there is 93,000 votes. We think there are about 600,000 votes left to be counted in Arizona. The lion's share of those votes are in Maricopa County. That's the Phoenix metro area. And we expect that sometime this evening, probably a couple hours from now, we are going to get an update from Maricopa County on what the status of those ballots is. It was probably the report of a lot of those ballots. And I can tell you it's a very specific type of ballot. It's the mail ballots that arrived at the very end of the process, like the day before Election Day, or that were brought in by voters on Election Day. It's a couple 100,000 of those, and we want to see when those come in. We will see, is it giving Trump late momentum? Are these Trump favorable ballots that give him a chance to move up and take Arizona, or do they not give him that? Do they cement Joe Biden's advantage and put Joe Biden in position to take Arizona? Because if Joe Biden takes Arizona, that would be 11 electoral votes for him. That would move him to 264 electoral votes. And that would bring us to the third state on the list here, and that is Nevada, which has 6 electoral votes. If Biden's getting Arizona, Nevada would potentially be a state that could get him to 270. Where does he stand there? With 86% of the vote counted, Biden's lead right now is 7,600 votes. There was a lot of chatter today, and there was some false sort of alarms in Nevada today that we would get this tonight. It now sounds like tomorrow morning Nevada time, probably late morning, midday East Coast time, we are going to get a report from Nevada on most of the outstanding ballots in Nevada. What are those ballots? They are the late arriving mail ballots. They are provisional ballots. Joe Biden, as I say, leads by 7,600. That type of ballot typically has been one in Nevada and elsewhere that Biden's done well on, but we want to see those get reported out, see if Biden does have the advantage there, if he builds his statewide edge, or if there's a surprise there and it starts going Trump's way. But again, if those ballots, the ballots yet to be reported out in Nevada, go Biden's way, then he has the chance to put Nevada away. I don't know why I keep pressing this button. He has the chance to put Nevada away. And again, if he holds on to the lead in Arizona and he holds on to the lead in Nevada, he would get 17 electoral votes and he would be at 270.
Steve
Kornacki, thank you.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just going to ask Steve a question at the risk of having his head explode on national television, and that is, watching James Carville on this network within the last hour, I heard him project a Biden victory in the state of Pennsylvania by 250,000. I talked to two other senior Democrats today who are talking about the same thing, 125, 130,000. Where are they possibly getting that math, Steve?
The math comes from the type of ballot that's left in Pennsylvania. Let's take a look here. So you can see, by the way, Donald Trump's lead in Pennsylvania right now sits at 246,000 votes. If you can remember, if folks who were watching in the wee hours this morning, this lead for Trump was over 600,000. So since this morning until now, 400,000 votes. Biden has trimmed that lead by 400,000 votes. Why? Because in Pennsylvania, what you got first throughout the state, you got the vote that was cast on election day. Some counties had a little bit of their mail-in vote counted as well yesterday, but initially across the board, you were getting the election day vote. In Pennsylvania, we are seeing a particularly stark divide between how folks who voted on election day went. They were strongly for Trump's best numbers, and then how the mail ballots are going. The mail ballots are going overwhelmingly for Joe Biden in this state. And that, by the way, we are finding is going across the board. You see all these red counties here, Pennsylvania counties, where currently Donald Trump leads in the vote count. Even in those red counties, the mail ballots are favoring Joe Biden. And what is to come in Pennsylvania are mail ballots. So Biden is winning as these votes get reported out, get run through the machines and reported out. Biden is winning these things at a huge clip. I mean, in some counties, he's getting 80% of them, 85% of the mail-in votes. So he's very rapidly cutting into that lead. The only question and the only variable here is it's not entirely clear exactly how many votes are outstanding statewide. So Biden is winning at an enormous pace here. There are estimates out there, certainly, that there's more than 1 million, and that would be plenty for Joe Biden to make that up. But that exact number is something we're trying to pin down. That's the key variable in Pennsylvania.
We happen to have a live report from Pennsylvania standing by. Maura Barrett is watching the people who are watching the count, among the most consequential counts underway in this country. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hey, Maura.
Hey, Brian, well, you heard it from Steve. Pennsylvania is going to come down to these mail-in ballots. There are nearly 1 million left to be counted across the state. We actually just heard from the Secretary of State with an election update. She said hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots will continue to be processed tonight. And a bright spot, she said they actually are ahead of the timeline that they were expecting. It still might be a couple of days, so nothing expected statewide overnight, but she also noted those Trump campaign lawsuits that we're seeing, they don't anticipate stopping the count at any point. Now here, I'm in Pittsburgh in Allegheny County. This is a Democratic stronghold that the Joe Biden campaign is really looking to hone in on and make sure that they can carry with these mail-in ballots. We're in a warehouse where these ballots have been processed throughout the day. They've been clipping away at a steady pace and only have about 40,000 ballots left to go. We can't go into the room where they're processing it, but we've been able to watch on this live CCTV feed throughout the day, watching them unfold the ballots, scan them through the machines. So we could see a final count from Allegheny late tonight based on the rate of return we've been seeing throughout the day. One thing to note, though, Brian, the reason why some of these ballots across the state have been delayed with the mail-in count, it's taken time to physically take them out of the envelope, flatten them, scan them through the machines. And something that election experts have pointed out to me, if they had allowed pre-processing here in Pennsylvania, we would not be seeing these delays that we've been experiencing. These ballots were sitting in envelopes heavily creased for the last month or so. So this is something when the Trump campaign is pushing back against these late ballots, if pre-processing had been allowed, the state Republicans held that up. So there's kind of that differentiation there between what the Trump campaign is saying and what could have happened to prevent these delays in Pennsylvania.
That's an important distinction. Thanks for pointing that out, Maura Barrett in Pittsburgh. Rachel.
So we've got this situation now where we've got multiple outstanding states, right? We're looking at Pennsylvania, we're looking at Georgia, we're looking at Nevada, we're looking at Arizona. And not only are we thinking about, well, who's likely to win, the timeline expectation in terms of when we are going to find out what kind of data we're going to find out and whether legal interventions are going to change any of that process. I'm glad we're not still thinking about this in terms of like 30 states. It's down to a half dozen, Joy, but still, it's it's a little bit of calculus in terms of thinking and trying to set reasonable and realistic expectations as to when we will know who the next president will be.
Yeah, and I think, kudos, to pat the media a little bit on the back. I think that we did prepare ourselves in advance that this was not going to be a, night of the big election night. Here is voila, here's the president.
I said that though, but I said it, but I didn't know until I tried to live it, and I didn't mean it. I intellectually figured that out and talked about it on the show, and talked about it with multiple guests, and knew it intellectually. But going through it last night, living through that experience, this is not going to be last night. I realized my heart must not have been in it because last night did just feel fraught.
It did feel fraught, and I think partly because even though we knew the red wave was a thing, and then the red mirage, I should say, the red mirage, we all knew it was coming. But when you're right, in the moment, it's enervating, it's aggravating, and I think partly, and I said this last night, I do think it's because we've been reporting for 5 years, Rachel, about Russia, about national security, just undermining our national security, the impeachment, the racism, the Nazis, all of it, and then COVID laying on top of it, felt like a repudiation was coming. And I think even though we intellectually understand where America is at its base, right, that there is a great amount of racism, anti-blackness, anti-wokeness, this idea that political correctness is some sort of scheme to destroy white America, right? But we know what this country is, but you still, part of you, I think part of your heart says, you know what, maybe the country is gonna pay off all of this pain. The children were stolen with a repudiation. And as the night wore on, and I realized, and it sunk in, okay, that's not happening. We are still who we thought, unfortunately.
And the country is going back to their office.
Going back in. It's disappointing, and I emerged from this disappointed. But I gotta say, I'm gonna give a heads up, and I'm gonna sound like Nicole a little bit here, but kudos to the Biden campaign steadiness. Because no matter how many times I texted somebody in the campaign, they kept saying the same things, and the same things that Nicole was saying. We're focused. We feel good about Wisconsin. We feel good about Michigan. We feel pretty good about Pennsylvania. But we feel good about Arizona. They know what states they cared about, and they stayed focused on it, and they didn't get rattled. And back to basics. This is an election about getting 4 in 10 white voters, the best you can do as a Democrat. According to exit polls, 42% for Biden, and about getting 3/4 of non-white voters. That's the game.
And getting 270 electoral votes.
And that's it.
Nicole Wallace, your name was vote. Nicole, we wish you were here, but we're happy to see you.
Oh, I know. I have to get home to my remote student here. Listen, I've never been accused of being, the rainbow and unicorn and sunshine member of our trio here, plus Brian. But let me just say, Joe Biden and Donald Trump both, I think, at the end of the day, understand that Joe Biden is the next president. And it's fascinating to me, and this is sort of the DNA of Republican campaigns. A win's a win's a win. So Joe Biden said today in his speech, and it happened during my hour, so I wrote it down. He said, quote, "It's clear we're winning enough states to reach 270. We believe we will be the winners." And then he went through and recited how his current margins in Michigan and Wisconsin exceed the margins by which Donald Trump won those states. I think that some of the sort of angst and disappointment that a lot of my Democratic friends and colleagues felt was in this landslide fantasy. But that just isn't the reality of presidential politics in this country. The whole ballgame is 270. The Biden campaign, it may not sound romantic, it's not the stuff of a West Wing episode, but they had a strategy for getting to 270, and most likely they will exceed that. And they were always focused on rebuilding that blue wall. They were always focused. You look at where their candidate was. He was in Michigan, he was in Pennsylvania, and he was in Wisconsin. And they competed. They went out and asked for the vote in Florida. They wanted Florida. They competed. They asked for the vote in Ohio. They wanted Ohio, but they didn't need them. And at the end of the day, it looks exceedingly likely they will get more than what they needed. And this country is about to have a change in leadership. And I think that's just, plan the parade kind of headlines. And I will tell you, on the part of both campaigns, Democrats think that Joe Biden went out today and made his first statement as a president-elect. And Republicans are already talking about what Donald Trump will and will not do during the transition. One source telling me that if Donald Trump loses the way it looks like he might lose after some sort of protracted legal effort, that he might be
any of the transition activities, like inviting Joe Biden over for that chat at the Oval or even attending an inauguration. So the conversations inside both camps have moved on to the transition. Well, let's bring into the conversation now somebody whose ears are undoubtedly burning as we keep talking about the Biden campaign. Biden campaign senior advisor Ron Klain is here with us now. Ron, thank you so much for making time.
His first career start, percent from Michigan.
The snap, I expect to see more of that from Ross Bowers in this offense because that's going to help settle things down.
Northern Illinois struggled on third down last year. Saw the numbers there near the bottom nationally. High snap, Collins up the middle, and he picks up a first down. You can see the power with which he runs. And this is a Northern Illinois team that's coached by a former Northern Illinois running back, Thomas Hammock, two-time 1,000-yard rusher with the Huskies. They want to be a big-time running football team, use multiple tight ends. They want to be in some ways what Buffalo is offensively.
Well, absolutely. And they want to be physical to avoid attack. They want to be able to run it when they want to, all right, not just when they have to. And that was a really nice job collapsing down the defensive front of Buffalo, kicking out. And the one thing about this running back is he hits the crease. He is downhill. Aaron Collins has been a nice addition to this offense.
I will reset the play clock. Thomas Hammock told us a lot of his young players they feel are Power 5 players. Collins has Power 5 pedigree starting at NC State. And hello, Malcolm Kuntz, the sack leader in the back last season with his first in 2020.
You're going to see him come off the edge, left-hand side of your screen. He's going to be right here. He's in a stand-up position, and he's just going to work on big number 70, Marcus Cox, redshirt sophomore, and that's just a level of explosiveness and athleticism coming off the ball that the young sophomore is not ready for.
Taylor Riggins, who's out today, lines up normally on the opposite side of Kuntz. He was second in the conference in sacks, and that's the strength of this Buffalo defense, the defensive line. Pressure coming from the linebacker, Terry. Kuntz now over on the perimeter, making the tackle on the tight end, Crawford. We have reiterated the point Northern Illinois is young. They lost a lot of players to the transfer portal. Tight end Mitchell Brinkman was a key part of the passing game last year. Their running backs, Trey Hardison, transferred before even last season ended. He didn't even play in the regular season finale a year ago. Jordan Nettles opting out, losing another running back to graduation. So a lot of key components for the offense last year are gone. Rudolph, a freshman, in motion. Bowers steps up. Pursued. No second run. Lost the football out of bounds. And let's see where they mark him out. It's going to bring up fourth down, and this might be a spot Thomas Hammock goes for it with 3 yards to go.
See where the spot is, where the ball comes out. I like this call right here. Again, a bit of a confidence builder. You have moved the football outside of the one play and sacked the Boots. It's been an effective and efficient offensive series.
Ron Hudson, the head referee. NIU pointing toward Buffalo. Long discussion here. Cincinnati.
This is really a strange call, Age. A really strange call. I did not see any offside. In fact, he's not even on the line of scrimmage.
Matt Austin is our rules official who's with us. Matt, what did you see?
Well, I hate to accuse accuse anybody of anything, but that looked like a plan to play by the offense. The offense would shift back and hoping that the defense would react and come across. As soon as they entered the neutral zone, both the guard and the tackle reached out to touch them, causing them to false start. But if the defense is in the neutral zone, you put it on the defense. I would hope the officials would talk to the teams and say, listen, don't do that one again, because that sure looks suspect.
Matt, real quickly, is there a possibility that they just got the wrong player listed? Because number 5 wasn't even lined up on the line of scrimmage.
That's always possible. Sometimes the officials don't get the number right. This is our first game of the year, remember, so anything could happen.
Matt Austin, our rules expert, will be with us all night. Bowers finds Richie, and he's taken down the 25-yard line. Corey Gross, the safety, on the stop. Picked up just enough for a first down to move the chain. So this is the type of drive Northern Illinois wants. They're going to take their time, chew up the clock, and keep this Buffalo offense off the field.
Absolutely. They've got to do everything they can. Now, protect your youth on the defensive side. So far, the youth on the offensive side for Northern Illinois holding up, and holding up actually really well in the run game up front.
Out of a pistol look. Collins on the cutback and brought down by Thompson for the ankles. Tyree Thompson, grad transfer from UCLA. Opening night in the Mid-American Conference. And it's not just one or two MAC games tonight. Everybody in the league is playing tonight. Bowling Green and Toledo kick off on ESPNU at the top of the hour. And when they start, they'll have 6 MAC games going on at the same time, 5 on the ESPN networks. On 2nd and 9, Bowers floats one, nearly intercepted by Gross. He wanted Crawford, and Ross Bowers got away with one.
Yeah, very fortunate there. Ross Bowers doesn't key the safety in the middle of the field. I love the design of the play. They have good backfield action. If he throws this just slightly over the top, he's got himself a touchdown to Crawford. Instead, he tried to fit it into the hole there, and that's just too crowded. You see 4 jerseys around 1 NIU Husky.
It went literally through the arms of Gross, and Crawford still almost caught it. So now 3rd and 9 here in scoring territory. With the play clock winding down, here's the blitz. Bowers in trouble, can't get away, and down he goes to the 25. Coates and McGee converge on the sack.
Yeah, they run a little bit of a game. They end up bringing 5 in. The way they brought it, I think, created some confusion for Northern Illinois up front. And you're going to see that tonight with this young offensive line. You've got to come away with points here, though, after a long, sustained drive.
43-yard attempt by John Richardson. And he nails it. A 14-play, 50-yard drive that chews up almost 8 minutes. NIU comes away with 3.
If you have high blood pressure, a cold is not just a cold. Most cold medicines may raise blood pressure. Choose Chlorocine HBP, the brand with a heart, for powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure.
Oh no! Another pizza deal at Scary Out only? Introducing the new $10 tastemaker from Pizza Hut. Get any sweet toppings you want delivered for just one easy payment of $10. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Enjoy the magic of Christmas at Santa's Wonderland. We warmly invite your family to continue the tradition at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Come in for a free photo with Santa. Plus, there will be fun activities and take-home crafts. Bring the kids in to see Santa and his elves in a safe and responsible way. Reserve a time online now through December 24th. Reservations are limited, so make yours today. Santa's Wonderland, only at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
So with AT&T, you can pick the perfect plan for each family member with the features they want, like HBO Max. What was that? Happens every time I say HBO Max. Cool. HBO Max.
you who really need it. It's not complicated. Now you can save more with AT&T wireless plan and get things your way with features like HBO Max included.
Smooth driving pays off. With Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you save. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Quicker call for a quote today.
While other schools may offer welding classes, at Tulsa Welding School, we are welding. Since 1949, Tulsa Welding School has trained over 20,000 graduates to become successful professional welders, and you could join them. We are the largest welding school in the nation, with 3 campuses and over 650 individual stations equipped with the latest in technology. Our reputation in the industry has given TWS graduates the advantage of connections with hundreds of employers over the years. So don't wait. Call now. Call 1-800-230-2903.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ram, built to serve.
Before coming into Buffalo, Lance Leipold was the head coach of D3 Wisconsin Whitewater. All he did there was win, and win some more. 6 Division III titles in 8 seasons. His record there, 109-6. Digest that. 6 losses in 8 seasons.
Well, I had a couple of those national championship games that they won in the Stag Bowl, the Division III national championship. And what you've got to truly appreciate about Lance Leipold and anybody coaching at that level is you don't have bells and whistles. You don't even have scholarships. You are having to find kids that are wanting to play because they truly love it. And you're asking so much of them without much in return, and he's able to get the most out of his kids. I think he's a rising star in this profession. I did tell him this. I said, you got to start finding jobs in better climates.
And now you're trying an onside kick and nearly recovered it. Now Thomas Haddock with a little bit of a sneak attack after his team just put together an 8-minute drive.
Listen, I don't disagree with the call. I love the aggressiveness. Thomas Haddock told us he was going to play like this tonight, especially with a young team, and they almost pulled off. It was a wonderfully kicked ball as far as the location and where you wanted that thing to end up. And they dropped it right in the hole, right there, and he's just not able to secure it. That thing could have been about 2 more yards maybe from the sideline. Oh,
Now Rudolph right there had a beat on it. If he holds on, NIU could have had the ball. Instead, Buffalo will get it back. The Bulls' first drive, 3 plays, 55 yards, and a touchdown run by Jared Patterson.
yeah, and it really looked effortless the first time around.
And the flag is down because the kick went out of bounds. Let's bring Matt Austin back in. Matt, what is this conference about?
Well, they might be talking about a couple different things. Anytime the kicking team kicks the ball into the air, the receiving team has to have an unobstructed opportunity to catch the kick. So they could be trying to decide whether they have kick-catching interference if anybody did get in the way of the receiving team. And then as you mentioned, this could be kicking out. The kicking team will enforce 5 yards in the out-of-bounds spot. First down, Buffalo. And that's the best option for the receiving team if there's no kick-catch interference.
Thank you, Matt. So Buffalo will start just inside its own 40. Pretty good starting field position now on back-to-back drives.
Yeah, it certainly is. This isn't, you're not putting your defense in great field position here, especially with the youth. Let's see if they can be a little bit more stingy with their front against this powerful Buffalo run offense.
And another stoppage.
Both unless we tell you what they were talking about if we actually knew. Not sure what the stoppage is. There wasn't a flag on the field, Anish.
First game of the season, they haven't worked together for a bit. Post-game dinner plans, perhaps. First and 10, handoff is to Jared Patterson. Folks, these numbers don't sound real. The last two games against MAC competition, Patterson ran for almost 500 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, and the thing is, at that time of the season, everybody in the stadium knew what was coming. They had already gotten hot again. They hadn't lost since they won every single game. We're not talking close. We're talking about 38-16 on average point differential in every win. So people know what's coming and they still can't stop.
Buffalo 6-1 down the stretch last year, and it was a heavy dose of 26. Patterson picking up a first down there. And you look at his numbers over the last 6 games of 2019, 186 yards a game, and he was getting it about 30 times per game.
As I said in our open, he's a workhorse. He is capable of carrying the load. He doesn't have to. We haven't seen Kevin Marks yet, but we will. And on that play right there, where you saw him hit the cutback and get downhill, that's where you get worried if you're Northern Illinois on defense. Getting out of your gap with your youth and that inexperience can cost you in the run game.
4 true freshman starters for the Huskies. Van Treese to the sideline, and that's his best receiver. Antonio Nunn, great catch radius, terrific on 50-50 balls, and all-conference selection last year.
Look, you know, it's one of the reasons, too, why this run game has been so effective is they're very multiple in how they get to it. Not necessarily a bunch of plays, but a lot of window dress in terms of formations, personnel groupings, shifts, motions. There's a lot of eye candy back there. And then you're physical up front. Next thing you know, this guy is hitting the line of scrimmage quickly.
2 tight end set. Patterson on the cutback. See the shake in the wiggle, and there is a flag down. Looks like he'll have it up if the play stands. Personal foul. Face now. Number 5. Defense. 15 yards and the other run. Automatic first down.
See number 5, Kennedy there come in. And again, goes high, reaches for the, really just reaches for the head or neck area, ends up grabbing the face mask. Add another 15.
The challenge for Northern Illinois will be holding up against the Buffalo offensive line. Yes, Buffalo lost a few starters, but they still have experience at 4 of the 5 positions. And last year, the Buffalo offensive line, arguably the best position unit in the entire conference, as Patterson picks up a couple. Right guard Jack Lynch. That might be the biggest question on the offensive line. Alshika moving over from the right side to the left side. Gall and Buzak both have starting experience, even though they weren't regular starters last year.
I think that's the point to be made here. This was a group of offensive linemen from last year's squad that played a bunch of guys, rotated 6, 7 guys in. So even though they weren't listed as starters, they played a lot of football.
And that's on Patterson taken down into the backfield. Lance DeVoe, fifth-year senior linebacker. He and Kyle Pugh give this defense experience in the linebacking position. That's the strength of the Husky D. Big third down.
They're the 2 grandpas. I mean, really, they are. It is their job to lead this young group of very talented and inexperienced players. So if there's a strength to this football team as a unit, it's clearly at the linebacking spot.
Buffalo last year, 45% on third down. Northern Illinois had its struggles on third downs defensively. Van Treese looking for 6. And he's got Antonio Nunn for a touchdown.
got the one-on-one opportunity. Go up with a 50-50 ball, and Thomas is not in bad position on what is really a difficult thing to defend on the back shoulder. Well played ball. Very, very nice ball skills on the 50-50 catch there.
The danger right now for Northern Illinois, it looks too easy offensively for Buffalo.
Yeah, and the game's moving a little bit faster for Northern Illinois.
McNulty's kick is good. 2 possessions, 2 scoring drives for Buffalo, 2 touchdowns.
Good looking group. Nice throw. Got the balance of the offense for Buffalo. It's a really good football team. Let's see what the answer is for Northern Illinois when we come back.
Today tastes like a home game. Tastes like we're great machines. And like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team. And it never tasted this good.
1,200 spin the lights.
Quarter mile of tinsel.
And we will snow all the way to the top.
It'll be top to top. Well played.
Add some thrill to your wish list at the Season of Audi sales event. Get exceptional offers now. You are strong. Brilliant. One of a kind. That's just your style. Your brand should shine the same way you do. Shop exclusive styles from our collections, including Vera Wang, Enchanted Disney, Endless Brilliance, and so much more. Shop online with the virtual consultant and ask about our zero down special financing with the Diamond Credit Card. Exclusively at Zales, the Diamond.
These days, it's okay to do some things halfway, but taking prescriptions shouldn't be one of them. So CVS tries to make them affordable with a proprietary search tool that looks for savings. Plus, we deliver. No wonder CVS customers are better than most at staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier. Get a free prescription savings review at CVS.
No matter what size adventure you're into, the award-winning family of Hyundai SUVs has something that'll make everyone happy. I get it. That's a lot to drool over. Hyundai. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Now, get 0% APR financing on select models from Hyundai's award-winning family of SUVs. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Pac-12 football returns this weekend, and in primetime Saturday, the East Coast Stanford visits Austin to take on number 12 Oregon. Justin Herbert tearing up for the Chargers in the NFL. Tell us about Tyler Shough, who is expected to be the next Oregon quarterback.
Listen, Parker last year had Oregon. We talked to Mario Cristobal about him. They were excited about him. They feel like he's really, really sound. Again, you have the Boston College transfer and Anthony Brown. Mario Cristobal not yet ready to name a starter. A little gamesmanship there. Going to be excited to see the Pac-12 kick off.
Stanford again with a terrific offensive line. Have some big opt-outs, though. And NIU will bring it out to the 25. Let's go back to that last touchdown. Antonio Gunn, who's got a great catch radius and a knack for making these types of catches, brings this one in. Comes down hard on that elbow, and during the run, we saw him trying to shake that elbow out on the sideline.
Yeah, you see the left elbow hit the ground first, and the weight of not only himself, but the defender piling on, and they're working on him a little bit there. The senior, and you mentioned the 50 ball, the 50-50 ball, that's where he's really good is when he's contested.
situations, runs with some power. May not be the home run hitter,
Right.
but he's going to get you the tough yards.
Yeah, Harrison Whaley's going to be their change of pace guy. He's their speedster, maybe the fastest player on his team, but 6'2", 210. As we see the first quarter wind down here, Collins is the guy that is going to be the downhill battering ram. And I think Northern Illinois has to continue to run the ball between the tackles. They're not experienced enough in the offensive line to go laterally against this Buffalo front seven.
Maction is back. Mark Morrison, I'm sure somewhere is loving all of this. Buffalo came in with great expectations. No David Copperfield being in that first quarter. Give it to Jared Patterson and let the defense do its work. The Bulls, the team that needed the Matthews here, off to a great start.
You love your pets, but hate wearing their hair. Did you know that your clothes can actually attract pet hair? With new Bounce Pet Hair and Loose Guard, your clothes can repel pet hair. One Bounce Mega Sheet has 3 times the hair-fighting ingredients of the leading dryer sheet. Simply toss into the dryer to bounce out hair and lint. Look how the shirt on the left attracts pet hair like a magnet. Pet hair is no match for Bounce. It's available in fresh scent and unscented. With Bounce, you can love your pets and whip roll less.
When it comes to the home games, you gotta have certain essentials. As long as I got my family, friends, mosquitoes, my favorite nachos, we're good. Don't forget the little family needs. Right now, we're just finding happiness in the small things. And then with the fellas watching the game, I think it's a very special moment. We don't get to play, but we get to watch it. I agree. I'm okay with you being the nacho guy for the rest of the season. So, Steelers, here's to the good stuff.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up the face as well as the room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, when you need in stock with people who know their gifts. Your local Ace has great gifts. Pick up curbside or we'll deliver them right to your door.
When he proposed, he incorporated my dad.
He passed away when she was just 2.
He handed me a letter.
May I marry your daughter?
It's more than a ring. It's love.
Introducing the Closer Together collection, inspired by your love stories. Jared, love brilliantly.
Hey there, I'm Aisha, and my favorite thing about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is how easy you can share them with your friends. They taste fresh, they're crispy, you can taste that every single one is unique. The top tier, best chicken nuggets ever. You guys should put that in the commercial.
Hi, my name is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is you can taste the different types of cheeses and the blends that they use, and everything just comes together. It's like a delicate dance. They're like perfection in every bite.
Dear Best Buy, do I really have to wait till Black Friday for deals? Sorry, do we have to wait?
No need to wait. Black Friday deals are all the way.
When you have nausea, it's just
Pepto-Bismol coats and soothes your stomach for fast relief. And now get the same fast relief in a delightful chew with new Pepto-Bismol chews. I sweat profusely from my armpits. That's well. We wanted to create an antiperspirant that could tackle the toughest sweat. I love Cutbank. It's the only thing that's ever worked for me. Now I don't sweat. Get your total body sweat solutions today at mycarpet.com.
College football primetime presented by Ram Trucks. Started the second quarter in DeKalb. Denise Schropp, Tom Luganville, Taylor McGregor down on the field. Maction is back with 6 games, and it appears Buffalo jumped off sides to begin quarter number 2. Offside. 0-0. Defense bugging the offensive reaction. 5-yard remains same down. College football players this year are allowed to wear number 0. And 6'4", 330-pound D tackle Eddie Wilson donning that jersey for Buffalo. I know this for a fact. Mike Golick Jr. has Buffalo's game next week, and trading some texts with him during this past week, he is ready to make any Wilson into a god next week. That play goes nowhere for Richie. Luckily for NIU, it wasn't a whole lot worse. Number 0 was made for 50 tackles, wasn't it?
Of course it was. And probably offensive linemen as well if they were eligible to actually wear it. Now listen, we've got third down right here. On third down, Brian Borland, the defensive coordinator at Buffalo, depending on the down and distance, you got third and 8+ here. He is going to unleash the ends. He essentially gives them a two-way go. They're allowed to do whatever they need to do to get to the quarterback, while the two inside guys, they've got to play gap sound. So keep an eye on the two defensive ends, the edge rushers, for what they're allowed to do.
Especially 50 White, Malcolm Coates. Bowers got rid of it quickly, but the defense got there at the same time that Tucker did. Could not be right, the linebacker's coverage. And NIU has to punt. If you go back to that 2nd and 7, that becomes such a big call because, you throw it, they tried something, it didn't work, but you get into 3rd and longs against this defense, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, they're going to come after you.
Ferentz gets it away. Cook retreating inside his own 25, then out of bounds near the 20. Kick off your Week 9 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN. All the early breaking stories, injury updates, and they'll preview each game right up to kickoff. That is Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Monday night game coming up this week or next week is Patriots and the Jets. Tom Brady is gone, but that was the game where Sam Darnold saw ghosts last year. Jets are 0-8. Tell you what, it's a good time to be a Buffalo football fan. You got the Bulls, the favorite.
Bills are playing well.
Bills are playing well. Tom Brady's out of the division. Bantries to the sideline, too high for the big.
Listen, I know Buffalo's trying to change it up a little bit. Probably wants to get their quarterback into a rhythm, but until Northern Illinois can prove that they can consistently stop this vaunted run game for Buffalo, I don't know if I would throw it unless we have to throw it.
Kevin Marks into the game. He was also a 1,000-yard rusher last year, and nothing changes offensively when Marks comes in for Patterson. First carry for Marks. His running style actually reminds a lot of Buffalo fans of James Starks.
Yeah, because he's kind of upright. Okay, he's got a little bit of wiggle and elusiveness where Jared Patterson's a little more low to the ground and more sudden.
Going quickly here on 3rd down, and that is incomplete.
Really interesting, Anish. Now you're sitting there at 4th and 9. You're in control of the game. A very odd play selection there from Buffalo in terms of their choices.
And on to punt it away is Evan Finnegan. Good to see him back out on the football field. He suffered a gruesome leg fracture in the Penn State game last year. Actually forced Kyle Vantrease, the quarterback, into punting duties. He has made a full recovery. Not a good kick. Shank job. Out of bounds. And for NIU, this is an opening.
Tremendous opportunity here for field position. Finally, you get the field position in your advantage where it was Buffalo's for the entire first quarter. 14-3 Bulls.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
We have a guest room now.
But we have ants.
You're slouching again, Ted.
Expire. 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 Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
It's a lot of house.
Hope you can keep it clean. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save a lot of money.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request?
I'll have to check.
And Joni's here.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Favorite snack? How's it taste? So thin, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it. And eating it.
Snap, so good you may run out of cheese. Stress balls gummies have ashwagandha, an herbal
stress reliever that helps you turn the stress lines into your best life. Stress less, live more with Stress Balls. Are you ready for some football? Are you ready to cut off the sleeves, circle the bandwagons, and be hungrier than ever? Because everything is ready to matter, no matter what. Are you ready? Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face as well as a room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse store. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their gifts. Your local Ace has great gifts. Pick up curbside or we'll deliver them right to your door. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
A logo can do more than identify your company. It can connect in meaningful ways, energize your team, and inspire your customers. We're 4imprint, and we know your logo on the right product can create moments that matter. With 30 years of experience and thousands of products to choose from, we guarantee your order will be right the first time, on time, and for a great price. Be certain that the right moments will matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. 4imprint. For certain.
Kevin County in studio. Good morning over on ESPN Ohio, facing Central Michigan. Curtis Brooks with the Buccaneers. Big brother, maybe better. Tries it. Cox, 58 yards. That 2-point no good. That's a big storyline on the mat tonight. 14-13, Central Michigan back in the nation time.
Kevin Becky, college kickers, am I right? But listen, Central Michigan last year, Jim McElwain, the old Florida head coach, formerly of Colorado State, from 1 win to 8 wins, played in the MAC championship last year. What a turnaround. First and 10 with a short field, it's Aaron Collins. 5 MAC games on the ESPN networks. Got Eastern Michigan, Kent State, Western Michigan, Akron, Bowling Green, Toledo about to start on ESPN West. And might have some movement up front now for Northern Illinois. A lot of finger pointing on both sides. Left tackle Marcus Cox.
That's a good call. It's probably the call they should have made the first time we had that in the first quarter. They called it on the defense at that moment.
Blues, here we are again. Second and long. Obvious passing down. And offense not built for this.
No, it certainly isn't. Once these guys come off the edge, so explosive in their pass rush.
Buffalo rushing 4. Bowers finds a seam over the middle. And it's the freshman Trayvon Rudolph, the preferred walk-on, who was put on scholarship last month during camp. At the end of practice, got a ball, and there was an inscription on the ball that says, "You're on scholarship."
How awesome is that? Look at him catching the deep in route right here from the slot. Fearless over the middle. I mean, think about the transition on this roster. Guys like Rudolph, we mentioned 62 freshmen, and you had no spring, you had no offseason, you didn't have a true training camp.
From inside the 15, Collins, right up the belly, and he's to the 7. Thomas Hammock, the NIU head coach, telling us his team knew it's going to play cold winter games outdoors in November and December. So they practiced at 6 a.m. in the cold, in DeKalb. Young team, he said they didn't know any better, but wanted his attitude and mindset, being physical, being tough, and forget the inexperienced narrative.
No question. And now you got this football team as a result of that in scoring position and running the football effectively.
Collins into the end zone. It started with a shanked punt by Buffalo. A short field, a big conversion on 2nd and long, and Aaron Collins finishes it.
Really well executed at the point of attack by Northern Illinois, this young offensive line. And I don't think Buffalo on the backside I think they had some gap issues, and the Huskies taking advantage of that run game.
Richardson's kick is good. Thomas Hammock did not want to hear about things like preaching patience and growing pains. He says, yeah, we've got a young team. So what? We think we can be pretty good. They're hanging with Buffalo.
Are you okay?
Oh, it's just a cold. If you have high blood pressure, a cold is not just a cold. Most cold medicines may raise blood pressure. Choose Chlorocidin HPP, the brand with a heart, for powerful cold relief without raising your blood pressure.
Many sunglasses may actually make it harder to see, and if they don't cut the road glare, it can be deadly. This is Battle Vision by Atomic Beam, inspired by U.S. soldiers that depend on clear vision to hit their targets. Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and I wear Battle Vision by Atomic Beam for crystal clear vision when it matters most. Battle Vision lets you see in high definition and even blocks dangerous glare, helping to keep you safe. Battle Vision's polarized lenses filter out reflected light, knocking down glare so you can see clearly in ultra-high definition. They help eliminate glare, enhance color, and provide UV protection for exceptional optical clarity. Battle Vision can be twisted and tortured without breaking, and now feature power hinges for ultimate flexibility. The lenses can withstand hard drops and knocks. Sand, rocks, glass, even metal are no match. Look, regular glasses just make everything darker. So whether you're out skiing or out on the open road, cut the glare and see with Battle Vision. From riding your motorcycle to riding your bike, playing tennis, or target practice, battle through the glare and see with sharp clarity. Similar sunglasses can cost hundreds. Call or click now and get Battle Vision by Atomic Beam for just $19.99. Order right now and we'll double this entire offer. Absolutely free. One to wear and a spare with no additional fees. 100% free. This is a TV-only special offer that is not available on Amazon. You'll also get a lifetime guarantee. That's 2 Battle Visions with lifetime guarantee for just $19.99. Remember, this TV-only offer is not available on Amazon. You must call or click now to order.
Call 1-800-618-7015. That's 1-800-618-7015. Call or visit getbattlevision.com. So call 1-800-618-7015. Order now.
Northern Illinois, the team of the past decade, in the back. 4 league championships, 7 title game appearances, 8 goal appearances, a couple of full wins. They have Jerry Kill, Dave Dorn, Ron Carey as their head coach. 5 seasons of at least 10 wins in the past decade. And remember how they opened the past decade. 5 straight seasons of 11 or more wins from 2010 to 2014. Nobody had more conference wins than NIU. And Thomas Hammock knows 5 and 7 at DeKalb, not acceptable. There's a high bar that's now been set over the course of some time at this program.
Well, this program at one time was a doormat in college football. Joe Novak, comes in, takes it over. Then next thing you know, it's Jerry Kill, and then you've got Dave Doran and Ron Carey. All these guys have kept this thing going.
Let's check in with Taylor McGregor.
Well, NIU's defense going back onto the field with some confidence. However, defensive line coach Jordan Geely saying he would like to see them get the defensive play call out faster on 3rd down. He feels like Buffalo is going with a little bit of tempo in that situation, and they haven't been prepared for it, guys.
Yeah, Taylor, and a lot of that, again, you can attribute to some youth. You know, you got to understand the moment, the critical down. If it's looking to the sideline to get the call, you got to have all eyes to the sideline, whatever it is. They got to get short up, and you're only going to do that with play experience.
This is Kevin Marks with a nice run on 1st down and pickup of 8.
There we go, Buffalo. This is getting back to who we are, a little bit of tempo now.
And you got both 1,000-yard rushers finding Van Trace in the backfield. We were told we'd see more of that. Long
To Taylor's point, you saw right there a little bit of tempo. You saw Northern Illinois just late, get the line of scrimmage, get set. But to your point about having Marks, having Patterson on the field at the same time, when you have those two backs, you decide to motion one out of the backfield pre-snap, there's some decisions that got to be made on defense. So you can create some real mismatches personnel-wise when your two best players are on the field at the same time and in the backfield at the same time.
Marks picked up a first down with a gain of 2. Little misdirection here. Trevor Wilson, the speedy redshirt freshman, out close to the 40. A gain of 4. He didn't play until the bowl game last year because of an academic issue, but they like that speed element, especially on those jet sweeps.
Yeah, and that time, you had a little shovel pass inside to him, but credit Northern Illinois, Jordan Hanson, number 7, a freshman safety, playing that thing inside out and chased it down. And you're 2nd and 7. Northern Illinois is hanging in there, and they're not giving up explosives. That's a big part of this. Make Buffalo hurt it.
Olnich motions, then trips to throw. On 2nd and 7, off the hands and nearly intercepted. LaFave could not hold on, and McGee almost had it. Miles McGee, another true freshman in that secondary.
Well, you got the throw in the window right where you want it, and you just got to come down with that football. That's unacceptable not to catch that ball down the seam right there. And again, now we're seeing Buffalo get maybe a little predictable on their 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7 game. It's been all pass all day.
And a big 3rd down now for this Northern Illinois defense if they get stopped. Can swing a little more momentum their way. Ventrese pumps, he's hit. Throws it downfield for none, and it's intercepted. One of the 2 true freshman starting safeties, Jordan Hanson. A high school quarterback, and the quarterback of this defense is a true freshman.
Yeah, just a young guy. What do they say? Pressure bursts the pipe, right? That time, Northern Illinois, those young guys, the defensive ends that Thomas Hammock, the head coach, raved about. Piers Opal, Rasheem Thomas. They apply the pressure, balls in the air. You see Hanson go high pointing. Now you can argue, hey, cut it down. Maybe you're going to have a punt situation here. Nick Radcliffe taking the pressure at linebacker. Really good series. Now all of a sudden you got a little momentum, a little confidence defensively, and your offense is back on the field.
Sudden change. Do you take a shot?
You'd like to, but I don't know if they've got the weapons established yet to do that.
Instead, they'll give it to Aaron Collins, and running him up the middle has been their best play.
I don't know why they would get away from it. If they're, and I say this about both teams. Both teams' inside run game has been really strong, and until the other shows the ability to at least slow down or create a tackle for loss, keep going downhill on this Buffalo defense.
Collins to the sideline, trying to shake out that right arm after a gain of 5. Harrison Whaley, the true freshman and running back. He's got some speed and home run ability. Whaley with his first collegiate carry. And there's not a home run. Tackled. And it brings up 3rd down.
Penetration that time in the backfield for Buffalo, and a few times we've actually seen that against the Husky run game. And again, 3rd and 5. The game plan for Buffalo, they love to unleash these guys. And listen, no assignment, no gap responsibility. If you're playing defensive end on a potential passing down, they're going to turn you loose with a 2 to go off the edge. Number 50 at the top of your screen there, the fierce pass rush boots.
Rodarius Gregory in at running back. To the sideline, it's broken off, intended for Tucker. Marcus Fuqua, the redshirt freshman, got in there. And it's 4th and 5, and if you're NIU off the turnover, this is a missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity. You see the attempt at the one-handed snack there. It's a missed opportunity, and you see a little pressure in the face and hands to the face. I'm a little bit surprised that wasn't called on big number 92, Robert McGee for Buffalo. Look at Ross Bowers
got a little trickery here. Could this be a ploy to get the defense off sides? And now we have flags.
All right. No more shenanigans from Northern Alabama. Now watch what he's doing right here. Essentially what he's doing is he's coming off the shift in motion in the formation, but while he's doing it with a real tricky movement, and then when he sees the defensive guy move, he points to him. And to Matt Austin, our rules, we could say, guru told us earlier, he said, looks like that little game Northern Illinois is trying to play. It's worn out now.
Fair catch by Cook at the 21. That's where Buffalo takes over. No harm, no foul after the Buffalo pick.
The Man of the Pearl collection of fine jewelry. Exclusively on sales. The Diamonds Are Your Best Friend store.
Now that we protect your identity, mobile phone, as well as your auto, home, life, we've never been better. Allstate, make your call for a quote today.
It had this $100,000 to his debt.
$225,000 in debt. So I literally changed my life. It was the easiest acquisition process. So I made it so there's no trade-off between my dreams and students. Your moms don't have to take over for the rest of your life. Thank you for allowing me to get my money back. Are you tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? What if your clothes can stay fresh?
Mosquitoes. Wait till it's good.
Avengers, underwear for the
What do you think on someone your own size?
Welcome to the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.
Avengers, look out! Welcome to NXT. But we need to relive what was an epic NXT Halloween Havoc.
Women's Championship.
NXT is live from the Capital Wrestling Center. Ember Moon taking on Dakota Kai. Ember Moon starting to battle back in this opening matchup here this week. Dakota Kai caught with a spinebuster. Moon into the cover. Is it enough to put Kai away? And Dakota Kai kicking out at 2.
Dakota Kai just dominated that entire intermission there, but suddenly from nowhere, Ember Moon building up that health steam once again.
Kick right to the cheekbone. And in a way, Dakota Kai really has been bothered, I think some would agree, by Ember Moon's return.
Of course she has. She referred to her as a stepping stone. That's a huge insult. Anyone would be offended by that. She's out here to prove it. Prove her point.
It's going to be a win as well. Ember Moon able to kick out at 2.5. Dakota Kai a half second away from putting away Ember Moon.
You know, we've seen this several times throughout this match. Dakota Kai able to level Ember Moon, but has struggled to keep her down. Moon showing such resilience throughout this matchup.
Certainly is, but is also still showing signs of what we saw earlier in the matchup with her left shoulder being right off that steel post. Moon still trying to get the feeling back into her left hand.
Yeah, she's in a mess. We can tell. You know, anyone with a pair of eyes could see that. And it's not just her ankle, her former ankle injury she's worried about. She's worried about a potential new injury to that shoulder.
Going able to slip free and then got caught right upside the ear. What a kick from Dakota Kai.
You have to say the decision-making process for Dakota Kai in this match has been outstanding up until that moment.
Well, now, what about the decision by Ember Moon? Into the cover, and Kai again able to kick out. So close. Another near fall in this match, but again, Raquel Gonzalez looks a little bit more worried now than she did early on.
Yeah, Gonzalez yelling some coaching from the sidelines, but let's take a look right here. Ember Moon finding an opportunity and hitting him across the jaw. Dakota Kai seeing stars, but Moon is not able to put Kai away in that moment.
And now both these women slugging it out.
Going the way she fell for it.
To no avail. Dakota Kai, is she going to tap? And now Moon Bryant and her forearm across the cheekbone.
Just a rush of blood to the head. Slowly going for that big one.
Crucifix and another kick out. And now a crucifix by Dakota Kai. Moon kicks out. And now for a second time the shoulders down on Kai and another near fall.
The caliber of these two, not just playing defense, able to transition into offense.
Remember the injured shoulder of Ember Moon coming into play now.
Tearing those tendons, those ligaments in her shoulder as we look on.
Dakota Kai really the torque in that left shoulder. Moon, you see the pain on Moon's face. She's so close, Wade. So close to the bottom row.
I see the fear in Ember Moon's eyes as we're looking on there. This has to be a tap out now.
The fear is the determination in the eyes of Ember Moon. Moon now trying to crawl, trying to sprint, trying to inch her way in by her big toe. But come on, break the hold with. Ember Moon gets to the bottom rope, and Dakota Kai used every bit of the referee's five.
Escaped by the skin of her teeth, and you cannot blame Dakota Kai. She gets 4 to break that hold, and she's up 4 here.
Dakota Kai stomping right on the back of Ember Moon. Well, you mentioned right decisions by Dakota Kai earlier. Don't believe that was one of them.
She took away from the beast there.
And now look at Ember Moon. Ember Moon has been waiting weeks to get her hands on Dakota Kai.
This is the anger and fury that Ember Moon has talked about before, exploding with rage. This is Ember's law before our very eyes.
Certainly it isn't. And Beth Ember said, if you wrong me, I will get you back with furious anger.
Here to stick it away. Looks like Ember's lost a bunch of fists and knees.
What a big hip toss from Ember Moon.
And you just see the confidence flowing through Ember Moon as we look on here.
Ember Moon with a huge right hand, but again, the left arm, how much damage has been.
and deep into the cover. What a victory for Dakota Kai. Here is your winner, Dakota Kai. Wait, that is a, don't think, I mean, you gotta love the Raquel Gonzalez, but I mean, Dakota Kai just beat a former women's champion.
Timely intervention there from Raquel Gonzalez, but this superb volley from Dakota Kai to a falling Edward is what put the button on it. That was just excellence from Dakota Kai. I am not the same person who would call Edward Mooney. I have to say, he's absolutely right. And that is the reason why Dakota Kai has to be getting close to another opportunity at the Oscar Rise NXT Women's Championship.
Dakota Kai saying she's not the same woman that she once was. Well, someone who also hasn't really been the same since last week's NXT Halloween Havoc was Cameron Grimes.
First of all, real fine. But whatever you just referenced, though, a loss at the Hard House of Fair match, it wasn't really a match. It wasn't a pinfall, and there wasn't a submission. And I mean, I can't believe it. Can't think of it.
What are you looking for?
Listen, all right, listen. Logan, okay? Whatever happened last week, that was week 2. We're focused on this week, tonight. And tonight, Kayla Grimes is going to cave in to Sheeta. That's right. I'm over it.
Young Grimes versus Kushida. Up next.
Take the edge off after those blazing hot wings and give your tongue a Pepsi bath. Your mouth deserves it, especially after a day of screaming at a wall of TVs. And at Frank, who invited him, Buffalo Wild Wings, open for takeout and delivery.
Hey, did you know in the 1800s ketchup was medicine? Did you know cricket has nationwide 5G? Oh, that's surprising, but true. And now I also know that in the 19th century, you would have been a picture of health.
Surprising but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G. This is Nancy. She offered you a homemade cookie. So when she said your trade-in was worth $12,000, you believed her. But was it a lie? The cookie? The offer? Next time, start with CarMax and get a custom offer good for 7 days. With me, it should be CarMax.
At Marco's, get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Get the ultimate comfort food, cooked at over 450 degrees, with the comfort of knowing it's served contact-free. Order at Marcos.com for contact-free delivery or carryout. I got married, became a therapist, have a beautiful daughter.
Ah, kids are great. Can you prescribe drugs?
I have friends, just not the kind that, care about me. You were a train wreck back in high school, and you are a train wreck now.
It's not fair. I was not this bad in high school. For real? Guess who's getting the kidney? You are
With 0% parabens, sulfates, and dyes. Treseme's ProCare collection lets you style without compromise. Tresemme ProCare, 0% compromise, 100% you.
I love this feel. I love it every time this commercial airs. I get to drink a nickel without with you.
For skin that never holds you back, don't settle for silver. #1 for diabetic dry skin. #1 for psoriasis symptom relief. And #1 for eczema symptom relief. Gold Bond. Champion your skin. For skin as alive as you are, don't settle for silver. Gold Bond. Champion your skin. Goli, the world's first apple cider vinegar gummies, make eating healthy simple.
Goli makes weight loss simple.
All day energy. Simple.
Jim, with some cake?
No thank you. Cutting cravings simple.
And it's simply delicious. Healthy doesn't have to taste bad. In fact, with Goli, it's actually delicious.
Visit Goli.com/TV to get 10% off plus free shipping.
part, congratulations on a great night with Halloween Havoc last week. But tonight you chose Tony Storm as your opponent. Halloween Havoc was a blast, and hosting Halloween Havoc, Mr. Regal allowed me to choose my opponent tonight. I have always been a big fan of Tony Storm. She's one of the best. Mayo Classic winner, former NXT UK Women's Champion. Tonight's match is a huge test for myself, and that's exactly why I chose her. So, Tony Storm, welcome to the Brawl Pit! Back to the
Power contest is scheduled to unfold. Introducing from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 192 pounds, Kushida.
Certainly can't wait for Shotzi Blackheart and Toni Storm later tonight, but what a match we have right now. Cameron Grimes, Kushida, and I mean, best to take a look at Cameron Grimes. Looks like he's been seeing ghosts for a week.
Grimes has definitely been a little more jittery lately, a little more anxious. I mean, I can see he's trying to center himself.
Cameron Grimes seems it.
Yeah, clearly showing some lingering psychological effects from his experience at Halloween Havoc. And being in there with Kushida when you're not fully on the ball is probably not the smartest of moves.
So you're saying that Halloween Havoc took more of a mental toll than a physical toll on Cameron?
Well, he looks physically 100% as much as we can tell. No bruises, no injuries.
Kushida just for a one, and Kushida staying right on top of Cameron Grimes, and there you see Beth Kushida trying to manipulate the left arm of his opponent.
Kushida quick to go for a body part. We've seen how dangerous he can be. Breaking Velveteen's dreams, wrist, of course, several weeks ago. You do not want Kushida to grab a body part.
And we do not look at Kushida just maintaining his hold on Cameron Grimes. And certainly these two superstars are no strangers to one another. And right now, put on a clinic against Kushida into the cover. Another kick out by Cameron Grimes, but Beth Kushida really starting to shine bright.
I mean, you can see a fantastic mat grappling there. Kushida is so light on his feet, stays high on his toes while maintaining the pressure. Let's take a look right here how he keeps that right hand on the jaw of Grimes. Beautiful work of art.
Cameron Grimes now trying to chop down Kushida. That game in his own right.
Cameron Grimes is no slouch in that ring, of course. He's got a real big reputation in the NXT locker room. This is where he needs to take advantage. Fight a little dirty if you have to.
Well, he might have a mental advantage, but as soon as he starts thinking about zombies, ghosts, and ghouls, it seems to freak him out a little bit.
Well, hopefully Kushida has snapped it back into the land of the living.
All right, now nice reversal by Kushida. Kushida charging in, Grimes goes up and over. And now the pace rate starting to quicken in this matchup. Oh, nice hip toss into an armbar, and Grimes doing his best now to hold on as Kushida trying to break the hold.
Yeah, I have to say, when that pace quickens, it does favor Kushida. The ultrasonic speed down. Of course, the power style, I suppose, in this matchup with Cameron Grimes is where he needs to gain his advantage.
Again, Cameron Grimes rolling through, trying to reach out. Submission locked in. And look at Kushida wisely grabbing that free hand and bending it back now.
Yeah, keeping away from grabbing the ropes. Cameron Grimes urgently needs a little breakup in this one.
Oh, Grimes sees how close he is, and you can hear Cameron Grimes screaming in pain. Oh! Hyperextension, possibly of an elbow. Cameron Grimes really feeling the effects now of Kushida's offense. And Kushida staying right on top of Grimes.
The follow-up style from Kushida here. Oh, beautiful impact there on that left shoulder and all.
And Kushida follows up with a drop kick. Right to the face, into the cover, hook of the leg. And again, Grimes able to kick out at two, but Kushida right back in. Cameron Grimes wisely. Able to the bottom rope and then a quick kick.
He needed something like that for Cameron Grimes. He was getting eaten up in this one by Kushida.
Watch what you say, because if you hear eaten up, that might freak out Cameron Grimes in the middle of this matchup. It's Grimes right back on top of Kushida. What you say earlier? Waking himself back up, wrestling back to the living?
Exactly, get back to the land of the living. I thought that early beating he got from Kushida
Cameron Grimes is having a little bit of zombie stress disorder.
It is certainly possible. And I mean, it's really thrown him off his game here tonight. Kushida having a field day. I mean, take a look at this contortion of the elbow. And a breaker. Wow.
And then she follows up with a deep hard drag and just holding on now to Cameron Grimes. And, you know, Wade talked about it earlier, Ben. Certainly Kushida not necessarily going to face less than 100%.
No, definitely not. Kushida has been bringing his A game to the table with every opponent. I mean, he's become a must-see superstar every single time he is on NXT. And we're seeing exactly why.
Kushida maintaining focus. Oh, nice. Lower direct to the lower back goes Cameron Grimes. And this is that sort of offense that Cameron Grimes, like you said, start stringing together in this match.
There's opportunities. Every slot window you leave open for Cameron Grimes is going to take it regardless of how ungentlemanly the attack might be. And this is how he has to go.
Throw shoulders down. Kushida looking for the win. Grimes able to kick out at two. And now Grimes trying to follow up. But it's Kushida who goes up, goes around, gets caught, and dropped over the top rope. Kushida is able to bounce back in this matchup against Cameron Grimes. And then Grimes into the cover. Oh, and a kick out by Kushida.
This is an ad for a chip so iconic, we don't need a logo. It's a three-sided crunch. You know, that cheesy, spicy, crispy, crunchy flavored pep bodega snack that rhymes with I need those. An ad with no logo? It's another level.
Metro has the best deal in wireless, so you can rule your day. Get unlimited data with 5G access included for just $35 a line. All on America's largest 5G network at no extra charge. Metro, empowering you to rule your day.
Quick! The quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
More meat ounces means more meat bounces. Get any papadilla like the new double cheeseburger papadilla for just $6. Papa John's.
You love your pet, but hate wearing their hair. Did you know that your clothes can actually attract pet hair? With new Bounce Pet Hair Wind Guard, your clothes can repel pet hair. One Bounce Mega Sheet has 3 times the hair-fighting ingredients of the leading dryer sheet. Simply toss into the dryer to bounce out hair and linens. Look how the shirt on the left attracts pet hair like a magnet. Pet hair is no match for Bounce. It's available in fresh scents and unscented. With Bounce, you can love your pets and whip-roll less.
What difference can 2 inches make? I mean, it's a truck. It's not about inches. Who's thinking about the garage when you're shopping for a truck? CarMax is. We'll let you bring it back for a full refund within the first 7 days. The way it should be. CarMax.
This year, Walmart's starting Black Friday with deals for days. Starting Wednesday, November 4th. Score deals like an $88 42-inch on Roku TV and get them at our new deals pickup. Let's end the year saving big.
Guys, it's 2020 and things are getting kind of crazy.
This time has proven exceptionally difficult.
It's nice to know that a company actually has your back. No overdrive fees, which is great. Chime has been amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Every glass of Tropicana Pure Premium Orange Juice has a million little sips of sunshine. It's 100% of your daily vitamin C and 100% delicious, making every moment in the morning brighter. Tropicana, sip your sunshine.
Let's watch some TV.
That's sex for King Kong. What's this thing for Bible?
It's time to end this war. on and capitalizing is Kushida. Oh, that'd be a real quality beat down there during the interval, and Cameron Grimes back on rubber leg street here.
Certainly is, and now Kushida just measuring swing and miss, and now Grimes trying to get right back into this matchup. Grimes holding on for a moment. Kushida charging in and taking out Grimes. There's some of that high-octane offense that we've seen from Kushida.
Kushida is spectacular. We know that he is so creative with everything that he does. A possible high risk. Take a look at this shot in Kelly's Wrestling Center.
Well, it's Cameron Grimes getting back into the ring. I think Cameron Grimes thinks he's in safe territory, but no. High cross body, cover, count, kick out by Cameron Grimes, but Kushida holding on to Grimes. And look at the eyes, Wade. Look at the eyes of Kushida.
Intensity burning in those eyes. Bad intentions, no doubt behind this. Whoa!
Grimes sidesteps into a cover and a kick out again at Kushida. Kushida out there and a forearm under the jaw. Kushida answering back. Gets caught. Grimes looking for the backslide. Shoulders down. Wait a minute. Into a possible powerbomb. Sit down. Center of the ring. Cover. Kushida kicks out.
Let's take a look at this pure brute strength here by Cameron Grimes. And the impact across the shoulders and back of Kushida.
Capital Wrestling Center coming unglued for this matchup. Both athletes putting it all on the line here, and this is the momentum that Cameron Grimes has managed to build up for himself. Can he capitalize?
Look at this. Cameron Grimes really excited that he was going to cave in the chest of Kushida. And Cameron Grimes has been a lot in the last 7 nights. What a feather would be in his hat if Cameron Grimes can come away with a win here tonight. That, of course, easier said than done. Is now Cameron Grimes going up top.
Oh, wow, I like this a lot. Balanced precariously up there, both athletes. Duking it out on the top turnbuckle. Oh!
And Kushida, another right hand to the jaw. And Kushida continuing to try to close out this matchup. Looking for that hoverboard line. Kushida, no way! Off the top. And what sort of damage has now been done to Cameron Grimes?
That is a potential limb snapper there to Cameron Grimes. Fingers crossed. He's okay, but Kushida waiting in the wings.
And as Beth mentioned before, Kushida has snapped some limbs recently. Enters up, shoulders down, kick to that left elbow. Kushida follows up, looking for that German suplex. Cameron Grimes standing waist. Oh no! And the referee, Grimes with the shoulders down and turns again into the official.
Referee on side today, getting crushed in the corner and getting unceremoniously removed from the ring.
Well, Grimes realized it. Kushida now trying to capitalize. Kushida, hoverboard line. It's locked in. He's tapping out. Beth, there's no official.
Grimes is tapping, but there's no official in the ring.
And Kushida now realizing that, looking around.
He knows he had the match won. Referee's toast.
Kushida's pleading with the referee. He's buying Grimes some time.
It certainly is buying Cameron Grimes some time. And now, both superstars made it all. I think that was a Spanish fly. By Cameron Grimes. Grimes now into the cover. Kushida. Kushida's out.
Oh my God, guys! It's the zombie referee! And Grimes might be about to lose his mind.
Maybe he's not a real zombie, but I mean, Cameron Grimes looking into the eyes of the official, just got caught into the eyes of Kushida. Kushida, hoverboard left, Grimes taps out.
Here we go, by submission.
And maybe zombie stress disorder is the real thing, guys, but nonetheless, Kushida, the real Kushida, finally stepping up here in NXT.
Superb performance from Kushida there. What a victory him heading over now to Tony Storm.
I was respect Chelsea Blackhawk. Unlimited passion, unlimited edge. Heck, who doesn't love Chelsea Blackhawk? I'm flattered that she chose me, but Halloween Havoc is over, and she picked the wrong woman. Because this is a whole new Terry Storm. More aggressive, more tenacious, more determined. So tonight I use Chelsea as a stepping stone on my way to the top of this division.
What can we look forward to in season 21? I'm so relieved everyone came with a positive attitude.
Cheers.
And don't miss this season 22 premiere on November 12th at 9 on NBC.
Introducing Tostitos Strips, the thickest chips you ever seen. We have another salsa, made with real avocado.
They're good.
Apart, but better together. As you watch, pass Mr. Maggie Green stuff.
We have college kids and they get up early for a Burger King sandwich.
I didn't even know Burger King was that good. This is better than what I usually eat. It's definitely worth waking up for.
The beef paper sandwich. Get 2 for $4 or mix and match it with a biscuit sandwich. Your way. Way better.
This is Nancy. She offered you a homemade cookie. So when she said your trade-in was worth $12,000, you believed her. But was it a lie? A cookie? The offer? Next time, start with CarMax. You get a custom offer good for 7 days. The way it should be. CarMax.
With the latest 5G phones, you can rule your day. Switching to the new 5G Samsung Galaxy for less than $100 and experience unlimited on America's largest 5G network, Metro, empowering you to rule your day.
Another bundle in the books. Gotta end with you, Jamie. Knowledge of Victorian architecture really paid off this time.
Yeah, just got lucky. That faulty wiring could cost them a lot more than the lever.
Thankfully, they bundled a motorcycle with the home and auto. They're protected 24/7.
What do you say? One more game of backgammon?
Not on your life.
The new razor from Harry's is not the same. It's our sharpest ever, and while some other companies will charge more for something new, we don't. Because why be like everyone else? Harry's, not the same.
Sundays aren't the same when you move away from your team. I'll take you from here, Delta guy. I've got just the ticket. Is this the real? As real as the Super Bowl ring, it's NFL Sunday ticket from DirecTV. Football? Yep. It's every game, every Sunday. Wait, no matter where I live? That's the whole point, dude. The most glorious Sundays ever. Order NFL Sunday ticket and get every live on a pocket game every Sunday. Only on DirecTV.
Captain, I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org. Monday, new superstars. New rivalries. Must be a new Monday. The landscape is going to change forever. Monday Night Raw. Live Mondays on USA. Tonight only, save 20% off championship titles and 50% off tees only at WWEshop.com.
And still, the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai.
Everyone wants to know what makes for Io Shirai.
This is my NXT. There's still one challenge I must face. Rhea Ripley. After all I've been through with Rhea, I want to face her one-on-one for the NXT Women's Championship. Rhea, I will the athlete of that day.
Well, it sounds like the two most dangerous women in NXT are on a collision course. The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing the team of Drake Maverick and Killian Dane.
All this bloody music again. So fancy thing.
Hey, come on, this duo is starting to gel.
Just as Drake Maverick starts to grow on me, this music kicks on again.
Well, I mean, look, it was Maverick. Come on.
You know, I think deep down, Killian Dane, this song's growing on him, this tandem is growing on him, and week after week we're seeing that chemistry develop.
Sound guy.
And let's not forget, last time these two teams met, Drake Maverick taking Emerald out with a steel chair, which was met with the approval of Killian Dane.
Everyone's on a winning streak.
Well, then they did pick up the victory, yes, and they're trying to build on that as Killian Dane obviously has made himself the legal man to start this match with Chase Parker.
The beast of Belfast giving them some payback now, man. Winning by disqualification, but it all counts you for the pay window.
Oh, yeah, did you see the tag? Wait a minute, look at this tag teamwork. Killian Dane with the senton to the lower back.
This duo got some moves together.
Certainly do. Drake Maverick right into the chest of Parker, into the cover, looking for a victory, and Parker kicking out at two.
Tag team chemistry growing there.
Parker from behind, tag made Martel coming in, but you mentioned the winning streak is with Everrise, who went by disqualification, and maybe the conspiracy theories are behind for Everrise now.
Look at Drake Maverick now in a world of trouble, turning his back on his opponent in the ring to argue with his tag team partner. It's backfired here.
Well, we're certainly going to see what Maverick and Killian Dane are made of, but what a running knee by Parker into the cover again. Maverick kicking out at two. No doubt the tag team offense very impressive little bit for the Everrise.
Yeah, Everrise is definitely on the roll lately, but let's talk about some things here from the last time these two teams interacted. The fact that Dave finally got to approve of Maverick's actions in the ring with that steel chair.
Certainly did, and now see Parker, that nerve ball just trying to keep Drake Maverick down, and Parker Maverick back down to the mat. Well, this certainly is the pace you want this match if you're Everrise, but you wouldn't want Killian Dane getting back.
Yeah, of course, keep the big man on the outside. The beast of Belfast is an angry man, especially when he sees his tag team partner Drake Maverick getting a kick in.
Well, he's the only person that can hit Drake.
Those are the rules of
There's Dan on the outside, waiting patiently to get back in, but it has been Parker and Martel who have really taken control of this matchup here against Drake Maverick.
some veteran tag team chemistry. Obviously been a tag team for quite some time now, have Everrise, and they're really capitalizing on that chemistry against Drake Maverick.
See Maverick trying to reach out for a tag, still
Benefits review. Now is the time during the Medicare annual enrollment period to see if you are eligible to save money and get additional benefits at little to no additional cost. You don't get these savings or additional benefits automatically, so make sure you call now during the Medicare annual enrollment period to make sure you are getting all the benefits you deserve. If you're not sure you're on the best plan for you, just call the number on your screen now for your free, no obligation Medicare benefits review. Call before the December 7th deadline. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. You may also be eligible for a plan that includes additional benefits like home prescription delivery and expanded at-home telehealth visits. Just call 800-792-8271 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits like free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free meal delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. You may also be eligible for for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, or no copays. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify for additional benefits, including dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drugs. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. If you're not sure if you're on the best plan for you, just call the number on your screen now for your free, no obligation Medicare benefits review. You don't get these savings and additional benefits automatically, so call before the December 7th deadline. You may be able to save money and receive additional benefits. Call 800-792-8271. 800-792-8271.
Working it first. Chopping down the beast of Halifax. They're now done stopping away at Maverick.
Whatever security we have in this arena is staying well clear. Perhaps even while the fights are still running. This is unrelenting.
Unrelenting. This is unreal what we are witnessing here. Live in the Capital Wrestling Center.
Every second of it. What on earth did Maverick do? This is going to make it so.
And the tag team champions laying out everyone. Hey, smile, right at Ken. Group in wrestling history.
Introducing Tostito Strips, the thickest chip yet. Creamy avocado salsa, made with real avocado. They're good apart, but better together. Hey, Martha, pass me some of that green stuff.
What difference can 2 inches make? I mean, it's a truck. It's not about inches. Who's thinking about the garage? You're shopping for a truck. CarMax is. We'll let you bring it back for a full refund within the first 7 days. The way it should be. CarMax.
Continuing to keep an eye on Pennsylvania, it's a similar story. Biden chipping away at that Trump lead. Will he chip all the way at it? Just under 200,000 is the gap there. And then in a few minutes, I think we're coming up 8:53 right now. You know, in the next 10, 15 minutes potentially, we're going to get a bunch of votes from Maricopa County in Arizona. The situation here is Joe Biden has the lead. They have the votes that come in sort of by voting method and voting time. So we're getting sort of, we had the early vote, we had the vote that was cast same day. Now there's sort of a hybrid bucket that's going to be coming out. And it's a big question here. There's real suspense. Are these going to be Trump-leaning votes? If they are, then Donald Trump's going to have an opportunity to eat into that lead that Joe Biden has right here. You look at the electoral map, Trump's got to find a way to win Arizona if he's going to hold on as president, or are these going to be more Democratic votes, in which case Biden could pull away and win the state.
Steve Kornacki, thank you. By now, all of us have heard that the Trump campaign has begun a court offensive to try to stop the votes from being counted. Lawsuits brought by the Trump campaign in Michigan and in Pennsylvania, and tonight a new one in Georgia. Well, you should also know, though, aside from whatever the Trump campaign is doing in the courts, is that there's another really consequential court drama that has been playing out over the last 48 hours, affecting thousands of live ballots. And it has to do with the post office. Trump administration has been in court playing defense as a group of powerful civil rights organizations bring top-flight legal firepower to bear on their lawsuit to try to get ballots stuck in the mail service delivered so that they can be counted for this election. The fight is ongoing. It is not just some backwards-looking thing about what the Trump administration should have done before Election Day. These are ballots that could still make a difference in states like Nevada and Pennsylvania and North Carolina. If you've got ballots that were postmarked before Election Day, they can still be processed if they're received up to a certain point after Election Day itself. Those ballots are potentially in play as civil rights groups fight to free them from the postal service that has them stuck within it. Joining us now is Cheryl Eichel. She's president and director counsel of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, which is currently suing the Trump administration over these delays in the postal system. Ms. Eichel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I bet you haven't slept. I appreciate you making the time to be here.
Not at all, but our lawyers on the front line have slept even less than I have, so I'm good.
Well, tell me about those lawyers on the front line and this lawsuit. Obviously, we all expected there to be small armies of lawyers.
USA.
You are looking at the greatest four men to ever come together in the history of the wrestling business. We run NXT now, and there's no question about it. Now, the thing about us that makes us different is that we're not a bunch of scumbags. Not Danny, not Oni, not Pete, and definitely not me. We are men of class. We are professional. And since we are the new kings of NXT, it is only right that we pay tribute to the previous group that used to run roughshod on NXT. And that's the Undisputed Era. Tonight, we will hang their banner in the rafters to commemorate an incredible run in the NXT that we ended. To do so, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? In 2017, this group came along in the NXT. Chris Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Mustache Stooge, Bobby Fish, and they took over NXT like nobody has ever done in the past. They had their stupid hand signal. They won the bunch. They were over with all these stupid fans. And everybody loved it. There was so much success that they were like, hey, we need another member. We need to add to this group. And what did they do, Pete Dunne? What did Undisputed Era do, Pete Dunne? Roderick Strong told me a very valuable lesson. You gotta trust the right people in this business. We're the right people, by the way. We're the right people. So last week, I decided to return the favor and teach Kyle O'Reilly the exact same lesson. See those biceps too? Pete Dunne kicked that ripped and shredded with a vendetta to settle with the Undisputed Era. Let's go back to when Roddy turned his back on Pete Dunne and joined the Undisputed Era. Those four raised the level of everything in NXT. Winning championships, having success after success. Pete stick fed, Hobbs stick slaughtered. They became greedy. They wanted more and more and more. And NXT changed their entire business philosophy to make the Undisputed Era look like they're the greatest thing ever, leaving everybody else by the wayside. All the incredible talent backstage, everybody else that's a part of NXT did not matter because Undisputed Era was getting a push like the world has never seen before. Isn't that right, Owen? What about us? What about us, Danny, huh? What about us, Owen? A combined 30 years in this business. People looked down on us. People told us we weren't good enough. People told us we would never be on the same level as Undisputed Era. And now look. Undisputed Era will never reach the level of Danny and Oni ever again. Undisputed Era was allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted around here. Bullying people, taking advantage of people, making these simple things in the crowd think that they were unstoppable. And all it took was one run-in with me. Hey, show me any respect. Any respect. Then it's 31, obviously. Rich Holland jumped out of the pole in his lifeless body over there. Then Rich Holland breaks his leg. I sign on Oni and Danny, knowing that they hated Undisputed Era as well. Then my ace in the whole Pete Dunne, he's hated Undisputed Era since Roderick Strong was a scumbag to him years ago. And putting this group together was the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Now it's time for our reign to begin. Now it's time to honor the past while recognizing that the future is much, much better. It is now time to raise the Undisputed Era up into the rafters and never ever hear from those four little dirtbags ever again. Here's the banner and the rafter thingy. We are a democracy here, are we not? I think our group, we should agree on whether or not we should do this. You know, I thought this was maybe a good idea, but then as we started talking about it in the era, and I was reminded of all the despicable, disgusting things that they have done, I'm starting to reconsider. But we're a team here. This is the democracy. We should vote. If you're in favor, I'm not sure you guys will be, but if you're in favor of raising the banner on this little rafter thing, say aye. If you would rather potentially throw this Undisputed Era banner into the trash can, say aye. Aye. Get the trash can. Do we have a trash can? Undisputed Era's name will never be something that's glorified, never be something that's put up into the rafters. Undisputed Era's banner, like Vic Joseph's face, will end up in a trash can because it's a piece of trash, just like Vic Joseph. You want to do the honor? I hold this banner in my hand as a sign of something that should have never existed, something that's more dumb than anything else in the history of wrestling, and something that we will never, ever, ever hear from again after we laid waste to all of them. Congratulations to Undisputed Era on being officially dead. He's done. Light their asses on fire, sir. Oh. Keep the hands warm on the little guys. See you later. NXT, you're welcome. All you stupid fans on the little Tron thingy, you're the worst. In person, you're terrible. We're the greatest. You suck. Cheers.
Well, it's absolutely no doubt that the Kings of NXT wanted to roar tonight. I mean, Killian Dane, Drake Maverick were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Savage reaching for that trouble still. What a mess. $1 billion in 7 different industries. His checks don't bounce. Everything this household is doing. That's what we came here to do, baby. Hey, another mission. Another night. Another dominant performance. You don't have to like it, but the truth is, he's Undisputed Era is a fact. Just sleep. It's undeniable.
reminder that we're the greatest. You suck. Cheers. What a night.
Maybe number 2 on 3. 1, 2, 3. We're a good team.
It is pandemonium. Oh, it is nonstop.
Things are about to change.
Potentially be good enough news for President Trump that it would put him potentially in the lead in Arizona. If he's coming in at 59%, I mean, we're talking about potentially ending up at, I mean, if things go this way, we are looking at something that looks very close to a tie.
Yeah, and I'd say it at this point, because it's 75,000 out of 400,000 and change that are going to come in. So we're not sure it's exactly going to be 59% when all is said and done. If it ends up at 55, I think he'll be short. If it ends up at 65, I think there's a chance he would overtake Biden there. So we haven't really established the rate. What we've established right now is the possibility. I think that, as I said, the basic, almost philosophical question here was, is this fundamentally a group of Biden voters, or is this fundamentally a group of Trump voters? And you heard folks making arguments both ways about what we were going to see when we unveiled these first votes. I think we're seeing, it looks like these are going to be more Trump voters than Biden voters. And so that's why I could tell you NBC didn't call this last night, because this possibility existed.
Steve, let me also just ask you a process question. As you say, it's about 400,000 outstanding votes from Maricopa that we had as of the start of this hour. We've just received about 75,000 of the 400,000 that remain. Now, we had thought there was a chance that we'd get all 400,000 of those votes all at once. Do we know, A, is that a surprise that we only got a small chunk of them, less than a quarter of those votes? And you said we are expecting some more within the next couple of hours. What can you tell us in terms of what to expect and when?
Right, so apparently there will be a second a report of these tonight. I'm not sure exactly how many there's going to be. Again, it was about 75,000 here. Apparently there'll be a second report. But remember, in Arizona, 2018 in the Senate race, did take a couple days to get to the final result. They were in this process of sort of, we're going to report some here, we're going to report some here. This happened in 2016 as well. I think the hope this time around in Arizona was they had changed some of the processing, some of the dates, deadlines on processing, where you thought maybe they'd be able to get some of this done earlier, and it wouldn't take days once you got into this cycle. But I think there is the potential. We got 75,000 here. Maybe we get, 50 later, 75 later. Maybe we pick up some more tomorrow. We might be in that situation right here in Arizona.
I will just tell people, for viewers watching at home, what this means for the presidency. If what Steve says is correct procedurally in terms of how these votes are going to come in, it means that we're going to get little bites of Arizona votes over time, every couple of hours, at least into tonight. And what each new bite of the Arizona vote is going to tell us is potential control of that state, which is potentially determinative in terms of the presidency. And there is legitimate suspense as to what the implication of those votes will be. If they are a mix of Biden and Trump votes at the proportions that we saw from this first group of votes from Maricopa County, it is legitimately going to be an open question as to who is going to end up on top by the time all these Maricopa votes come in. Just remarkable suspense there. Brian, back over to you.
We have Vaughn Hilliard, who gets to report on his home state. He's with us from Scottsdale. Vaughn, I know you've been following our discussion here. What blanks do you wish to fill in?
I enjoy just watching these numbers break down here and the subtraction, because, like Steve, I've been filling out the mind map on my own papers out here in the desert, and literally the percentage number that I had that Donald Trump needed to maintain the ability to break even and match what is now a 93,000 vote lead for Joe Biden was 59.16%. And what Steve's calculations were right there was 59%. Now, with that stated, we should put into context which early ballots these are. These were early ballots that were received by Maricopa County over the weekend. Come on, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, finally. I don't know we've been that way. From the minute I won this title, everyone thought, oh, it's going to be another short
Johnny Gargano title reign. He's probably gonna lose in his first defense, just like he always does. No, that is the one blemish on my legacy. And next week, I kill that curse. I put that to bed. When I defend this title against a worthy opponent. Now you run out of time. It's been a week. You studied this game. I'm for you. Actually, no, you keep our ball. I'm gonna go. Oh! What is it? Oh! And the winner is Johnny! Just like it always is, Johnny wins. We love Johnny and Johnny wins. Just like it always is, Johnny wins. We love Johnny and Johnny wins.
Wow, the North American Championship on the line next week as Johnny Gargano looks to end his title defense curse.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Gold Coast Australians, Tony Storm.
The NXT Universe has been buzzing about this matchup, but what do you think?
The on-screen play we have at the meeting is a sickening poor excuse for a human being. But right now, I want to refocus on someone that deserves their attention, Tony Storm, and her opponent here tonight. Her opponent, Shotzi Blackheart.
Well, you hear Shotzi Blackheart yelling Tony Storm, and Shotzi Blackheart not with her trademark tape that we're used to seeing. Oh, and Tony Storm answering right away here in this matchup. And both these women, this was supposed to be meant the spirit of friendly competition.
Yeah, a definite mood change here from Shotzi Blackheart. She charged out to the ring, screaming and yelling at Tony, and oh my goodness.
And again, Shotzi Blackheart slipping because you gotta wonder where her mind is because
Shotzi's all over the place here. She was blaming Tony Storm for the disappearance of her tag, if that makes any sense.
well, I want to talk about that take here. That take to Shotzi Blackheart represents freedom. And, she talked about a little known fact, her cousin in the military who watches NXT every week. That's a nod to her cousin, and she believes it's because of Tony Storm.
That is the kind of thing Tony Storm will get right away about Tony Storm. The nicest individuals in the locker room, but focusing on this now, clearly Shotzi Blackheart in a rage. You saw her tripping over that top rope, one of the signature maneuvers here.
Certainly wasn't. Shotzi Blackheart chose Tony Storm as her opponent tonight. The best is that something you think Storm would do?
I mean, I've never known Tony Storm. I mean, Tony Storm is someone that is deeply respected in the locker room because she exudes respect, and that's just out of character.
Yeah, but the truth is, people change just like that. What we saw Pete Dunne do a little earlier. Our thoughts, of course, go out to Killian Day, but Tony Storm here taking advantage of a Shotzi Blackheart. This could be a pin here.
Blackheart able to kick out at 2. And Tony Storm again accepted this challenge. She said she was going to bring the fight to Shotzi Blackheart. Certainly has, but Shotzi Blackheart's mind not 100% into this matchup. Tony Storm right away in this matchup, taking it right to Blackheart. Take a look at the
Boom across the jaw of Shotzi Blackheart. Blackheart's hurting, guys.
cover up the suplex and a kick out by Blackheart yet again. And we talked about it being the spirit of friendly competition, but it certainly has taken a turn.
Yeah, but here's the deal. The NXT Women's Division, there are a bunch of tigers running around there, all trying to get to the top. And Tony Storm is another addition that is huge.
Oh, going around into the deal. Oh, into the cradle, shoulders down. Tony Storm this time. Kicking out at 2, and Storm right back up with a boot. Taking Blackheart off her feet. Well, this certainly has been a highly contested matchup then between these two women who certainly are also jockeying for position in the NXT Women's Championship picture.
Yeah, of course, Blackheart stepped up and asked for this matchup. Tony Storm being a talent that she's wanted to get in the ring with for a long time. She's looked up to Tony
Oh,
Storm.
covered by Storm. Another kick out by Blackheart.
And I don't think this matchup went quite the way that either of these women expected it to.
When we talk about the NXT Women's Division, we have to talk about its champion, Io Shirai. We heard earlier tonight, call out Rhea Ripley. Call out the Nightmare.
Yeah, that is a true champion. Nobody wants to step in the ring with Rhea Ripley, and I've got to say, I've got a ton of respect for Io Shirai calling her out.
It was Shotzi Blackheart who called out Toni Storm, chose Toni Storm for this matchup, and bet that it's Toni Storm who is right now on top of Blackheart, who is in control.
Check out that variation of the Caribbean Crunch. Haven't seen that in quite a while. Toni Storm leaning on Shotzi, trying to close that air pathway and grind down the other competitor.
Oh, and Storm right into another cover, and now a kick out by Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi Blackheart just has not been herself so far in this one. Toni Storm as good as ever. We are so fortunate to have her here in NXT. But it certainly isn't fortunate for Shotzi Blackheart right now.
The former NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm controlling Shotzi Blackheart. Bet there was Storm earlier who reminded Blackheart that, hey, Halloween Havoc is over. You better be focused on me, Toni Storm.
Yeah, there's an old saying, you know, you're only as good as today. Your accolades yesterday, they're great, but what can you do today?
Right now, Blackheart is trying to figure out a way to create a little separation between her and Storm. Nice takedown into another cover and another kick out by Blackheart. But wait, there's no wasted movement by Toni Storm. Every move goes into the next.
Yeah, that is world champion material right there in Toni Storm. Of course, we've seen it before with Shotzi Blackheart. We know her cover with Storm what she did in the ring with Io Shirai several weeks ago. A star-making performance, but this for Toni Storm here is just a masterpiece.
Oh, nice suplex, Storm into yet another cover, and another kick out by Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart, can she figure it out? Can she get back into this matchup against Toni Storm?
This is Nancy. She offered you a homemade cookie. So when she said your trade-in was worth $12,000, you believed her. But was it a lie? The cookie? The offer? Next time, start with CarMax and get a custom offer good for 7 days. The way it should be. CarMax.
I love this view.
I love that every time this commercial airs, I get to drink another Mountain Dew.
Quick! The quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Did you know this made to amaze? Does Philips Sonicare give its care a raise? Get healthier gums in 2 weeks, guaranteed. Next level clean, next level care. There's always a way to make life better. Philips Sonicare. Subscribe now.
At Burger King, we have plain grilled beef, lettuce, onions, tomatoes. That's awesome. Oh, yes, it is. The 2 for $5 mix and match deal, now the side of PS5. Buy a play game in-app or chance to win.
Introducing the iPhone 12 Pro with 5G now at T-Mobile. Unleash the 5G power of the epic iPhone 12 Pro in more places. Get 2 iPhone 12 Pros and 2 lines of unlimited 5G for just $100. Only at T-Mobile.
I don't feel like it's fair for me to pay for their mix-up.
WBTV viewers mistakenly billed thousands of dollars, but none of the businesses were willing to correct the charges.
As soon as I got in contact with you is when it feels like someone finally heard about me.
The WBTV Investigates teams help save viewers over $100,000 of their hard-earned money.
I thank WBTV so much.
Thank you to the WBTV family. When you need help, trust WBTV Investigates to be on your side.
These days, when a lot of furniture companies scramble for inventory and customers wait, Rooms to Go is ahead of the curve. We took a risk, ordered massive amounts very early, and now we're loaded with airplane furniture ready to deliver now. No waiting, 10,000 pieces arriving every day.
We've unloaded thousands of trailers. Furniture inventory, staged, routed, delivered fast as promised.
From warehouse to your house.
That's service. That's who we are.
That's Rooms to Go.
Rooms to Go delivers.
Hey, America. Looking forward to the weekend? I'm talking Clemson, Notre Dame, S&M,
the NASCAR championship, and Breeze rating on Sunday Night Football. It's all on NBC. That's something to look forward to. There is a brotherhood in this industry. We're all competitors, but there is a line you should never cross. That line was crossed by Pete Dunne.
That certainly was, but right now, it's Shotzi Blackheart trying to cross the line in her own right to get back into this matchup. Nice kick. Caught Toni Storm on the side, and then can Blackheart rally in this matchup?
Well, we've seen Blackheart come back before. She's a resilient competitor.
Oh, and everything running through the mind of Blackheart. It seems as things are starting to clear up now. Into the cover goes Blackheart. Look at the leg, and it's Storm kicking out at 2.
Blackheart certainly more durable than most, and riding this wave of momentum now has to capitalize against Toni Storm again. Just that's an
And now we're looking for that side suplex with Toni Storm able to block. Separation created. Storm now looking back. It's almost caught, touch the insecurity. And now Storm trying to capitalize with offense in her own right. Could be looking for a German suplex chance. And then Toni Storm hits the release her grip.
And Toni Storm she's got this powerful arsenal of suplexes, power moves. Blackheart's got to get out of those touches.
Blackheart now, something on Blackheart's mind. Trying to run up the ropes, gets caught. And again gets caught by another German suplex with the bridge. Shoulders down. Isn't enough. Blackheart just able to kick out at 2. How about the resiliency, man? The resiliency of Shotzi Blackheart.
Now, Blackheart struggled to come out of the blocks early in this matchup, but she continues to stay in this to keep fighting. All heart and guts.
Toni Storm now looking for the Storm Driver. Center of the ring. Blackheart trying to break free. Obviously, Blackheart with this move scouted. Toni Storm won championships here in NXT. Blackheart slithers free, catches and drops Toni Storm. Both women down. Blackheart into the cover. Storm able to kick out right shoulder. Coming off the mat. So close, Wade. So close to that 3.
very little strength in that kick out there. Beautiful Saito suplex there from Shotzi Blackheart. One of the key things about this lady is her unyielding, unbreakable nature.
And Blackheart does into the cover. And Blackheart's left shoulder gets off the mat.
Oh, we almost had a KO.
Back and forth matchup between these two women here on NXT.
This match has certainly lived up to the hype, and if you can believe it, the first time these two women have mixed it up one-on-one. What a spectacular matchup.
Toni Storm to the outside, going to the top rope. Blackheart realizing it, able to knock Storm back down, and now Storm to the midsection.
Big forearm.
And now Shotzi Blackheart answering back. Both women going back and forth, and again, it was Shotzi Blackheart who chose Toni Storm as her opponent. And this is Toni Storm's second match here in NXT since returning to the Black and Gold brand.
Toni Storm balanced precariously on that apron. That's a little fall down to the concrete below.
Blackheart able to string together a little offense, but
This could open it.
are you kidding me?
Shotzi Blackheart face first into the ring apron. A modified DDT there from Shotzi Blackheart.
Blackheart might not have gotten all the DDT, but certainly got enough to rock the world of Toni Storm.
NXT Universe reeling from what we just saw. Both of these women just starting to stir strong against their team. We're already at a 5 count here, guys.
Referee now getting up to 6. Toni Storm has his move. The referee at about 7. Shotzi Blackheart able to pull herself up. Referee still counting. Are we gonna get a double count out. Blackheart able to break the count. Chauncey Blackheart just able to get back to the.
Shotzi, it's Candace, Shotzi. Great news for you. I'm so glad I caught you. Somebody left your tank in the middle of this road. Would do such a thing? Don't worry, Shotzi. I got this. I'll stay here and I'll watch it for you. You can count on me.
Chauncey Blackheart. Oh, wait a minute. Tony Storm behind. In the center of the ring. Tony Storm puts away Blackheart. Here is your winner, Tony Storm. What did we just witness? Candace LeRae. I mean, Chauncey came out here, and again, the spirit of competition without her. I'm gonna have to lost the word.
Man, Shotzi, a loss at a time like this, that's too bad. Good news, your tank is still here, but I gotta be honest, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I keep carrying cars all over the place, left and right, and I just, oh no, there's one coming. Whew. You know, Shotzi, these are the things that happen when you put your nose in other people's business. The NXT Women's Championship from me. Or even.
Not seem like the kinds of legal fights that are attracting talent beyond people with the last name Trump and one Rudy Giuliani who showed up in the state of Pennsylvania. So just a little bit of evidence about the view, even from inside Trump's side, about the caliber of legal talent and legal arguments being made in lawsuits that were described to me as very much driven by the client himself without a lot of basis in any sort of consistent legal philosophy or argument at this point. Nicole, can I jump in with you on that point? The legal firepower issue, it's usually considered to be a real prestige thing for a lawyer, particularly an ambitious lawyer who's interested in politics and stuff, to be involved in any sort of recount fight, in any sort of presidential campaign fight. I asked a lawyer associated with us here at MSNBC today, not an on-air person, but somebody who works off-air, to have a look at the complaint that the Trump campaign filed in Michigan to try to stop the vote in Michigan. And that lawyer described it as something that looked like it was written by an elementary school student and something that did not actually have any of the predicates of a basic legal document, including the who, what, where, why, when of what they were alleging was the reason that the court should step in and do something. I feel like that's an interesting thing to know in terms of what the campaigns are bringing to this. But it also makes me wonder if Republicans are so confident now that there are so many conservative judges now, that they have done such a good job in the federal courts stacking it with ideological, very right-wing, in some cases very young, partisan-minded federal judges, that they've
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I think this sort of post-election activity may answer the question of whether those courts are so contaminated by what Trump has said out loud he wants them to do. Trump said last night he's waiting to get this to the United States Supreme Court, no matter what they do. I think they are forever tainted by the notion that Donald Trump, who picked three of them, believes that they are sitting there waiting until one of these ludicrous, as you said, juvenile lawsuits makes its way to them. Whether they act on that or not doesn't matter. That is how Donald Trump described them, not just to his supporters, but to the world. That is how he sees the United States Supreme Court. But I think the fact remains that not even folks on the Trump side can articulate a legal theory or a legal thesis behind any of them. And as we've said since last night, what Trump wants to happen in Arizona is for voting to keep going. What he wants to happen in Michigan and Wisconsin is for voting to stop. What he wants to happen in Pennsylvania isn't even clear. So there isn't a legal argument. There isn't a legal through line. So even if you were sort of at the ready for Trump, a willing appointee waiting to do his political bidding, which I think is a reach even for the kinds of folks that he's put on the court, it's not clear what the philosophical legal case is that's being made in the courts.
Nicole, thank you. Let us know what more you find out as we bring in our next guest, and that is Minnesota Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar. We're also joined by our colleague Lawrence O'Donnell, who is here to help with the questioning. Senator, thank you for coming on. And first off, your reaction to this unfolding drama in the state of Arizona.
Well, I was so glad that Nicole kind of pulled you guys back off the ledge there. And I thought she did a great job of it because, number one, you have to remember we don't know where the rest of these votes are, but we do know that something big is happening in Arizona. And you've got the fact that not just John McCain, the president going after him, viciously favorite son of Arizona, but Cindy, having done virtual events with her for Joe Biden, was incredible over the last few months, and such a strong person in her own right. Jeff Flake coming out. You've got a strong Senate candidate in Mark Kelly, who's doing so well for the Democrats. Sinema already winning in the last election. You've got a changing situation in Arizona, so I am still bullish on Arizona. I also want to add Pennsylvania. I know you've talked about that, but there are so many votes still out in the suburbs in that area, and my whole Midwest blue wall theory here of the case, which I made from the very beginning of my own presidential run, and Joe Biden made from the beginning as well, is really coming true. And then we've got this amazing numbers coming out of Georgia and closing. So I just want everyone to continue to be calm and patient as we go into tomorrow, because Joe Biden has every reason to believe that he's going to win this. And I've so appreciated his calmness and the fact that he said, let every vote be counted. Let's get a result. And what a contrast to Donald Trump.
Senator Klobuchar, it's Lawrence O'Donnell. You joined us on this network to discuss the report that you and your Senate colleagues put out about a week before the election, describing what you expected the vote counting process to be around the country, especially in the battleground states. In the report, you said, we may not know the winner on election night. That's okay. Is the process you've been watching so far okay?
Yes, and I think one of the things I like the discussion about the lawsuits and the fact that the Trump lawsuits to me have no merit. They're basically, he won by around the same.
We go after the carotid artery. But apparently if someone wants to be a tough guy, they're just going to grab whatever they can get. So now, the reversal of the hope. Go ahead, put it on. So the key. Watch the cutting bone right here with the hand. I'm going to move to the side. He's going to get aggravated, trying to bring me down to the mat. As he does that, I move to the side, turning my head. Now he can go ahead and crank as hard as he wants. No problem. No pressure at all. But I will apply pressure using my forearm and cross-facing him right there. Pulling the hand out, slide the arm, top of his lock, right there. Okay, so this time, the team's gonna do the escape. So, I put it on him. They're gonna Drake. First, he's gonna catch the arms and block the floor up. He's gonna move to the side there. I'm gonna try to take him down, and he's gonna roll to the side there. What's he gonna defend himself? So let's go. Yeah, you're doing good. All right. Now take that floor and apply the constant. Now, if he does this, he doesn't see that I can promise him. Here comes the right down. Look at the Kelly. You have to be prepared for anything. You have to be ready for anything. Kelly bug, right there. Give it up, Hush. Right there. You have to be prepared.
Wow, he was just cheering victimized her the last night, just nice cap.
Clay taking it right to Thatcher.
Receiving letters from Bella. What are those about? The letters I think from my family. And it's very personal. The only thing that matters to me is that I need to turn things around. You could share some other letters. It's not your business. Why do you feel that's not something that you're not going to share? Mr. Ringo, I need to challenge you back out next week.
You sure you want to challenge Raquel Gonzalez?
Yes. She dishonored me, so I have to.
That's what you wish, and I'll take care of you.
It's time to end this war.
Drew Brees and Tom Brady, they have thrown for more yards and more touchdowns than anyone ever. If you want to see these legends aim to make more history, I'll see you Sunday night. Saints plus Sunday Night Football on NBC.
This is Nancy. She offered you a homemade cookie. So when she said your trade-in was worth $12,000, you believed her. But was it a lie? The cookie? The offer? Next time, start with CarMax and get a custom offer good for 7 days. The way it should be. CarMax.
Abby and Kay Newberg reviewed the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and it was pure joy. Get the sandwich for just $3.99, and don't forget to order a delicious Cajun turkey.
At touchofmodern.com, we get that the things you surround yourself with reflect who you are, your style, your drive, your passions. Venture through a curated collection of astonishing items at touchofmodern.com, because sometimes things aren't just things, they're you. Go to touchofmodern.com and discover the world's most unexpected items.
The new razor from Harry's is not the same. It's our sharpest ever, and while some other companies will charge more for something new, we don't. Because why be like everyone else? Harry's, not the same. My son is prescribed pain opiates. No one ever told us on how to get these drugs work. Damage can heal. Young people can't do better.
Hope and help at rescue.org.
I am so pumped right now.
It's the biggest we've ever done.
It's such an amazing time right now in our lives.
Let's go.
You sure wants to challenge me? Perfect. That is exactly what I wanted this June. Now 2020 has been complete trash. Everybody has been getting in my way, and I've had to prove to them exactly who I am. Now I hear you say that you're not scared of nightmares, but everybody's scared of something. And I know for a fact that you are terrified of losing the championship. And mate, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because I'm going to leave this year just like I did 2019, as the new NXT Women's Champion. I can't wait to see Ripley and Sharon's situation evolve. And speaking of championships, Johnny Gargano has promised to break his championship first. What does Gargano have up his sleeve next week?
Well, not only that, Breezango will also all the underhanded tactics the kings of NXT will stoop to. Breezango gets their tag team championship rematch next week, live here on NXT.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Colorado, Washington, D.C., weighing 270 pounds, the Velveteen Dream.
Speaking of underhanded tactics, how about the, well, uniqueness then of Velveteen Dream?
Now, Velveteen Dream is an exhibitionist. He craves the spotlight, the attention, the celebrity, and he's out here to take it. His opponent was the heavyweight champion, weighing in at 201 pounds, Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh, wait, we talked about Velveteen Dream playing mind games in the past. Let me run through your mind if you were looking to cross at Tommaso Ciampa.
I'll put it this way, I saw Tommaso Ciampa in the locker room earlier today. Headphones on and almost in a trance-like state with burning intensity. I hope for Velveteen Dream's sake he loses again tonight, or else he might not make that out of this one with his life.
Well, back to it, Tommaso Ciampa, who said, and I quote here, Velveteen Dream is a dead man.
You know, that's a powerful threat coming from a dangerous man. Ciampa is not happy with the position, the way the NXT locker room has changed, saying everybody's entitled, and Velveteen Dream is definitely at the top of his hit list.
Usually a threat like that, but here we go, hot start here for the Velveteen Dream. So smart to it though, ducking out the way.
Certainly was a Dream trying to get that advantage again. The left cast that's on the wrist of Velveteen Dream. Ciampa has felt that not once but twice. Wayne has knocked him out cold.
Yeah, of course, first time perhaps in a I'm certainly not. And if Velveteen Dream gets his way tonight, he's going to be using that cast as a weapon once again.
And you see Ciampa looking right to go to work on that cast, trying to almost rip it off. So this tries to expose the injury to Velveteen Dream. Ciampa that looks possessed in this match, and really, who can blame him?
Smart move to Dude, look at the odd angle of that arm. Oh my God, Ciampa looking to rip that cast off.
Again, Ciampa focused on that cast, trying to tear it off. The injury screaming it. Whoa!
Wise it is to turn your back on Tommaso Ciampa either.
Oh!
You know what that did to him? It's still bothering him.
And Ciampa going right into that barricade. And look at where Ciampa's holding that. We know the history of neck injuries for Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, and Ciampa's neck bounced right off of that steel and plexiglass barrier. Ciampa moving slow.
Ciampa now picking up the aggression. Both superstars on the outside. And Ciampa loves to use his environment to his advantage.
Riggs first across that barricade and sitting duck.
The first across the jaw.
And Ciampa's already bust open in this one.
This match already taking that unique brand of physicality that Tommaso Ciampa brings to the squared circle. Bends and what made Ciampa an NXT champion in the past.
Yeah, check out the smile washing over Ciampa's face. I mean, he is at his very best when he is in control of his opponent.
Oh! They're actually getting a little too close for me, Wade. As Ciampa climbing Velveteen Dream. Yeah, the mind of Ciampa. Ciampa.
Straight back to that cast on the arm. A Velveteen Dream over our announcement.
Sadistic smile, sadistic pleasure running through the veins of Ciampa.
Pat on the back for Tommaso Ciampa indeed. That was impressive aggression from the man.
Well, Velveteen Dream. The lead had enough for a moment. Dream tried anything he can just to try to slow down the momentum of Tommaso Ciampa. But look, Pat, Velveteen Dream brought this on himself. I don't think he's ever been worried about the consequences, but now he's in a match one-on-one with Ciampa.
Like I said earlier, Dream demanding the spotlight. He certainly got it, but he may live to regret it.
Oh, nice reversal. Dream all the way to the outside. Nasty landing.
Like a ping pong ball getting bounced around the Capital Wrestling Center is the Velveteen Dream.
Oh, the Blackheart's wrath being felt here tonight. And well, Benjamin appears Velveteen Dream wants no more.
I don't think he's going to make that decision.
Hey, Ciampa bringing Velveteen Dream right back into the ring.
We're witnessing two of the most unhinged superstars in the NXT locker room during battle here and getting the best of them by far is that man Tommaso Ciampa.
Running knee connects, or a sliding knee almost, and now the fairy tale ending. But Tommaso Ciampa hit the fairy tale ending and put it in to Velveteen Dream. Dream had his scouted, look for that cast again. Ciampa able to counter, Ciampa right back to the left wrist.
Well, it's like having a baseball bat glued to your arm with that cast, but a baseball bat that can feel pain.
And again, Ciampa has felt that cast on a number of occasions.
Yeah, 2 times that cast has been the bane of Ciampa's existence. He is not willing to let that happen again.
Now look at Ciampa again, focusing, just loves trading this pain on a Velveteen Dream. No remorse in the eyes of the Blackheart.
Take a look at this unique angle. Ciampa yanking down the injured arm. And continuing to onslaught of boots.
Don't miss a second of the action. We're staying with you live here with our picture-in-picture breakdown USA.
This is Nancy. She offered you a homemade cookie. So when she said your trade-in was worth $12,000, you believed her. But was it a lie? The cookie? The offer? Next time, start with CarMax. and get a custom offer good for 7 days. The way it should be. CarMax.
Seems to be similar to suits that they are looking to file in other parts of the country. We're aware of that. It was filed tonight.
At Marco's, get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Get the ultimate comfort food, cooked at over 450 degrees, with the comfort of knowing it's served contact-free. Order at marcos.com for contact-free delivery or carryout.
You love your pet, but hate wearing their hair. Did you know that your clothes can actually attract pet hair? With new Bounce Pet Hair and Lint Guard, your clothes can repel pet hair. One Bounce Mega Sheet has 3 times the hair-fighting ingredients of the leading dryer sheet. Simply toss into the dryer to bounce out hair and lint. Look how the shirt on the left attracts pet hair like a magnet. Pet hair is no match for Bounce. It's available in fresh scent and unscented. With Bounce, you can love your pets and lint roll less.
On the upper hands, special gift flow challenges the hat models to show off the ease of comparing rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. International head model Jean-Jean gets personal.
Your wayward pinky is grotesque.
Then, a high-stakes penny cake battle royale ends in triumph.
You have the upper hand.
It's a race to the lowest rate and so much more. Only on the upper hands.
The E! People's Choice Awards are coming November 15th. Hosted by Demi Lovato. With special live performances, including Justin Bieber. Plus, we're honoring Jennifer Lopez, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Tyler Perry. The E! People's Choice Awards, November 15th. Hosted by Demi Lovato.
It's time to end this war.
NXT is live inside the Capitol Wrestling Center. Our main event, Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream. Very personal rivalry waiting for the reason.
Yeah, from the word go, Tommaso Ciampa has just been putting the wood to the Velveteen Dream. It has been a brutal beatdown so far. How that cast on the Velveteen Dream's arm has not been smashed into a million pieces is beyond me.
Of this match across the face of Ciampa twice, which brought us to this main event match. But it's Tommaso Ciampa's been trying to rip it out, and now it's Velveteen Dream ripping at the eyes of Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, we saw that eye get busted open a little earlier. Surely more damage done now.
Oh, and a right hand. And Velveteen Dream, as we've known, not afraid to cut corners.
Absolutely not. And in this instance, Dream is working out of desperation right now. He is on defense as he has been through most of this matchup. Ciampa's been devastated.
Velveteen Dream up and down with a spine buster. The Dream taking time to gloat for just a moment.
Let's see that critical moment one more time. Spinebuster stopping Ciampa right in his tracks.
You see Velveteen Dream instead of Crush we've seen over the last several months. Just Dream unleashing it at any possible moment. And Wade, I'll ask you, do you think Velveteen Dream took exception to the comments made by Tommaso Ciampa about the widespread entitlement?
Yeah, I think he is so unhinged. He doesn't take anything like that personally. He has a vendetta against anything that moves in NXT. That's the issue with this man.
And now take away Velveteen Dream back with that cast under the jaw. And now that cast right in the oral pose of Tommaso Ciampa.
You better bet Dream is trembling in this moment. Driving that cast right into the injured eye.
I have to think if Tommaso Ciampa is going to have difficulty seeing how much easier is it going to be for the Velveteen Dream to blast him with that cast once again.
Let's not forget, Wade, you brought up the point that it was Tommaso Ciampa who was busting
Oh boy.
that guy earlier, Velveteen Dream realizing that. And now Dream trying to keep the advantage, belly to back up and oh! The atomic drop, right back comes Tommaso Ciampa, who moves down Dream. And now it's Ciampa again. Rallying in this matchup, just decimating his opponent. And look around the Capitol Wrestling Center. NXT Universe buzzing about that. Welcome
going over all of the numbers, including numbers that have been incoming just tonight in the time that we've been on the air. Steve?
Yeah, Brian, that's right. The most dramatic we saw tonight was in Arizona a short while ago. Joe Biden's lead here over Donald